Howdy folks, and welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D game. Apologies for getting started a little bit late. Kind of like when we started doing this in the very beginning. We're still learning how to do the in-person thing. So thank you very much for bearing with us. We have session 86 of Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D campaign tonight. But first, because we missed last week, I have a lot of announcements to get through. Then we will do a recap and then jump into our session. I'm also going to angle this light a little bit more so that I'm not as in the dark. There we go. First of all, I am joined by my friends, as always, Matt, Miles, Allie, and Tina. I don't know. Oh, I got the names all wrong, huh? Yeah.
I'm Tina today.
It's so,
all right, we'll just run it
the
that
names
way.
are switched, but we'll change it at the break, not to worry.
Hi, I'm Allie.
So, if we want to go around the table real quick, starting with you, Matt, so that we can introduce ourselves and who we play.
This is
Matthew. Who do you play?
Oh, I play Akka. I forgot that it switches.
Yeah. Miles.
I'm Miles. I play Heinrich.
Thank you.
I'm Allie. I play Morwen.
I'm Tina, and I play Shay.
Yeah. So, as you can see, very much just kind of our the name tags and the 2-player cameras are swapped. We'll deal with that at the break. But a couple of announcements before we get started.
You know.
First of all, because we were off for 2 weeks, there's a few things to get through. The first thing is that next week, we are not going to be having session 87. We will instead be doing a one-shot that is going to be called An Ale's Tale. And so that's going to be a level 5 one-shot. It's taking place in Port Quinn, where we began this adventure. It is going to have guest player Olive, who played with us once before, who will be joining us in person next week. So that is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. Secondly, we have a YouTube. It is Alberon RPG. Up until now, it has been pretty much just a storage space. It's been optimized a little bit. So the entire thing has been overhauled. There's a new banner. Everything has been set up to now be easy to navigate. There are no 2-part sessions. Everything is now 1 part. So check that out, Alberon RPG on YouTube. Similarly on Twitch, which is where probably you're watching this right now. We have the old episodes slowly being uploaded. So there are 85 sessions to get back up. I'm working on it. It's taking some time. There are 25 of the first sessions currently up, 1 through 25. That takes us from, I want to say, right when you guys arrived in BIS to whatever we were doing right in the beginning of 2020. So I'd have to think about what that was. But you guys
Sunrest?
You guys had maybe just gotten to Sunrest.
Okay. But we sunk the ship yet. That was
Yeah,
this.
you that was the best.
this.
You guys sunk the ship over the course of the ones that I uploaded. Allie sunk the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morwen, quote
clear.
unquote.
Legendary Captain
Wait,
Morwen.
not me, Allie. Her.
So hi Tom.
Yeah.
The first 25 are up. Those are going to be going up every day, so check that out. That's on Twitch and on YouTube. We also, as you probably could tell on Twitch, have a couple of new features. You will notice in the chat there are a few icons that are next to names. So let me explain those really quick. There is a crystal-like icon that you will notice, a blue gem or shard of crystal. This is a shard from Aurelian Star, the blue star that is high in the sky right now. That grows based on how long your subscription streak is. So Isumiwa, if they stop by, we'll see one of the more elaborate ones. But they start very simple, and as you subscribe, they get larger and larger. Additionally, there are these bit things that you can use to get a number of rewards, like casting Speak with Dead with a character who's died over the course of the campaign, things of that nature. When you donate those go towards a larger pool where you will also have another icon, which will look like a slowly accumulating treasure hoard. So those are 2 things that will be kind of demonstrating people who are giving back to the community a little bit. Additionally, we are also doing something with Twitch where we're going to have, for anybody who's following us, so not subscribing us, just the free follow button, you're going to get 5 emotes just right off the bat. So anybody who's currently a follower, sometime in the next 2 weeks, we have those that will be going live. There's one for Akka, Heinrich, Morwen, and Shay, and there's one for me. But those are available to everybody who's going to follow us, and those will be sometime in the next week or 2. There is another set of emotes that are going to go to people who have given a certain number of bits. So Talon, I think you're the only person who is in the highest tier that we have at the moment. But those are going to be a special series of emotes that are going to feature the players. Kind of little I think, chibi version of the players, doing various things. So we'll reveal those when those are coming out. We have 3 that are coming from Matt, Ali, and Tina. We rolled for them earlier tonight.
I lost.
Yeah. No, actually, everybody rolled pretty well, though.
Next time.
Maybe next time.
I got the 13.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
So that is all coming, all these new emotes and things that you can use throughout Twitch. Next, there's going to be some art coming from Sophie Bischoff, who does a lot of the watercolors that you see kind of earlier in the roll or on our Instagram, which is at Alberon RPG. But Sophie is doing all of the Bloodroot characters. So we did a 4-part mini campaign, which saw Drew from Dicey Encounters come and hang out. Sophie is doing all of the characters, so Solwyn, Bunghole Steve, Baba Inu, and then Anis Ironfoot. One day I'll get the name right. But all of those are going to be up sometime in the next couple of weeks. We have a ton of art coming from a variety of different people, featuring NPCs throughout the campaign. Nazara, Euthilius, a variety of people attached to this campaign. I believe Era is getting something done. So a whole bunch of cool things are coming this way. The best place to check that out is at Alberon RPG on Instagram. And I think, oh yeah, the only other thing is we do have, you can see at the bottom of the screen, slightly off center, because, you know, we did this kind of on the fly. There is a follower goal. And so that is kind of showing our progress in terms of the number of followers that we have. When we get to 500, I'm going to look into raffling off a one-shot where we can invite somebody who is a subscriber at that time to do a one-shot with us. So that'll be for 500 followers. I think we hit 350 something like 10 minutes ago. So
Nice.
Got a little ways to go, but that's coming up. And I think with that, the only other announcement that I have is for sound that you hear in the background that is not my voice or other people's voices. We are using Sirenscape, which is a digital tool set of sound palettes and soundscapes that you can use to add a little bit more realism or immersion into your campaign or your birthday party or your bathroom, really wherever you want to use it. And with that, that is all that we have. So let me restart our theme song here. Composed for us by 1000 Take Wonder on Reddit. Thank you very much. And I will get this started with our recap. I'm going to bring this just to me for now. Finger Gang. Last that we played. You scaled the cold stairway from the icy docks of Red River Run as you returned to Tanner Square in Darkholm, the Duragar city. There you were suddenly confronted by your quarry, the twins Yuglong and Ortiz, along with the 10 Duragar soldiers of the army that crawls and a huge ogre. Quick thinking from Akka caught most of the soldiers and the ogre in a hypnotic pattern, distracting them for the majority of combat. Shay, you hit Ortiz early and often, causing the furious Duragar to chase you, drawing attacks of opportunity from most of the other members of your party. Heinrich used the environment to your advantage and shoved Yuglong off her mount and down the 100-foot spiral staircase. I know, damn, forever. It felt like 1,000 feet. It felt like 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
100
Death by
foot
1,000 stairs.
Yeah, 100-foot staircase, just end over end, unable to make a dexterity saving throw while being bit by the mind-slivered.
Pulling a trash can down the stairs.
Yeah, kind of.
Also made her mount think that she was an enemy.
That was a mind sliver that did that.
No, the enemies abound.
Oh, enemies abound. That's right. That was enemies abound.
I mean,
that
it's
did
like,
that.
what the?
Yeah.
Get off of me.
So her falling down, drawing opportunity attacks from her own venomous mount, made pretty quick work of her. At the same time, Shay, you utilized the kind of speed that only monks can utilize. Made your way all the way to the bottom of the staircase as this individual fell, biding your time, waiting 2 entire rounds before she finally arrived at your feet so that you could deliver the final blow. In total, you guys have now eliminated the entirety of the Thule door and fulfilled, theoretically, your contract with the Grey Lady. You took the Elder Hammer class submersible, designed by the secretive Stoneflow dwarves, with Valchryssix, the black-scaled dragonborn artificer, and made your way into the Dark Salt Ocean, the subterranean ocean that exists in the Underdark. There, Akka, you expressed that you might be able to pilot this craft somewhat better than Valchryssix, and were rewarded with a chance to do so. You spent the next 3 days in this tiny submersible craft, jammed end to end, with only Akka given a real seat of any sort, Heinrich, you discovered how long it really is that you are awake over the course of
Forever.
those days with nothing to do. Yeah, but you learned a lot of Elvish.
Yeah,
so you have that going.
I
for you.
believe you said I'm now moderately fluent.
Yeah. Akka, for you spent several days piloting this craft over the darkened waters, across shards of bone, strange, long dead coral protrusions. But eventually you began to rise. And as Camper's Notch comes into view, we jump into tonight's game. So give me just 1 second here.
No.
Yeah.
We avoided some cool, dangerous stuff too.
Hey, you guys time traveled. Alrighty. So, Akka, you had just in the previous session tested Valchrysix by mentioning the Star of Aurelian. And so you asked what he knew of the star. And as you see points of just dim light coming from the darkened water, and you can see not morning, probably night or sometime of that relative region.
Dusky.
Yeah, very dusky out, but you can see just pinpoints of light through the murky water now, just getting clearer and clearer as you come up. Valchrysix turns to you. What do I know of the Star of
You
Aurelian?
have to, like,
What?
open up the slat.
No, it's open. You guys have been talking the whole time, so
okay.
presumably you
He's
guys were
behind
just
it,
talking through
alright.
like a little
I'm
crack.
not looking at
So
him.
yeah, you have to turn back.
I'm not turning back.
Fair
I'm-
enough.
But I'm listening.
Just doing that polite Uber driver thing.
Yeah.
To the
Like,
polite
yeah,
Uber driver.
Sure.
Valchrysix
As
Uber
I'm on the
driving you
road.
guys from a long lost Duragar stronghold.
3 day long
road.
submarine.
Yeah.
Give this
No, that's
guy
gotta be
1
expensive.
star.
Super.
This star is that of Aurelian, the prime god of creation. When Alberon was still a hunk of inhospitable rock, Aurelian breathed life into the stones and created giants. Simple. Stupid. The earliest gods doted on them. The storm roared lightning into 4 giants, elevating them to the titans of the great oceans. The god killer, Arcana, helped the cloud giants raise above the mountains. The mountains themselves raised to the sky. And the green matron gathered a small group of giants hidden away in Everest, who worked together to design creatures that flew, swam, and walked. Aurelian is not a passive creator. 2,000 years after they created the giants, they returned. The star's arrival seemed to draw creatures, the rifts in Alberon created by the giants, that linked it to other places. Alberon was in upheaval, but Aurelian had brought the solution. If his first breath had been fire, or had been stone, the second was of fire. Aurelian sunk their teeth into the world, and when their fangs withdrew, dragons flowed from the wounds. The giants were not strong enough to handle the chaos of life, but the dragons were. When the star arrives, it means there is a chance to create new life. You may not have noticed, but about 5 months ago, just after the star appeared, 5 comets traced across the sky. Brief. Impossible to see if you're not looking, but those are motes of Aurelian's star.
We noticed.
Is that what you said?
We noticed.
And they will act to wake up that which sleeps. Thankfully, it appears dragonkind was first.
Yeah, thankfully.
Does that answer your question?
I guess as much as I really cared to know. I don't know. You guys got anything?
Oh, I'm sleeping.
Yeah, so
I
you
got
were
still
really, I
sleeping?
got really drunk and.
Oh,
went to
that's
bed.
right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Well,
Yeah.
how could we forget?
Heinrich, you
Oh, yeah, sorry.
got anything to ask
Break
him?
back out. Do I have anything to ask?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just kind of summarized pretty much. Well, I don't want to call it common knowledge, but yeah, it's just sort of reiterating the sense of urgency without direction that we have right now.
Well, speaking to your direction, what is that? Where do you all mean to go?
Don't you need to go back to the Grey Lady? Fulfill-
What, collect a reward or anything? No, I think we're good. We did all the things. Would you want to turn around? I don't really feel like staying under here anymore. It's been 3 days.
And at this moment, you actually all feel, and I would say more when you wake up with this, the lurch as the craft above this water, ice kind of breaking away. And suddenly, in this little viewpoint port in front of you, as you bob on the water, Akka, you can see trees, lots of these almost like fir trees, similar to those that you saw in the Owlwood in the Valley of Yagor, kind of just northern wilderness. Little bits of snow, and you can see stars. Early morning, perhaps.
How many stars? Lots of stars? Couple stars.
Make a perception check.
From the viewport? Alright, well, how we got in is up.
Yes, the hatch.
So-
The hatch for you guys is on the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately popping that hatch.
Yeah, can we open it from inside?
Yeah, sir,
Okay,
no problem. There is this kind of hiss as the air inside is released, and you, Shay, especially, draw in breathfuls of fresh air, north air, for the first time in quite some time. No longer cramped into this space, you feel the muscles in your backs almost ripple as if trying to stretch something that's not there. But you emerge into this cold air.
Is there room for me to climb out too?
Am I able to go? I can't. I have to go out through the other one. Is
No,
that
there's a
maybe?
top hatch for you as
Okay.
well. There's two different hatches.
Cool. I'm gonna
Be a
get
bad
out.
prisonership if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was about to comment that it's surprising that we could open ours from the inside, but fine with that.
Well, the thing is, if you're underwater and you open it, you're kind of solving your own problem.
That's true.
Not that you guys would know that.
Alright.
Common sense.
So yeah, I'll try to find it at some point, but I do have a diagram of this submersible that I could show you guys. But for the meantime, you emerge out, and Shay, Heinrich, as you guys climb out, you're in the early morning, early hours of the morning, kind of dusk.
How far are we from shore?
So looking around, you are within this kind of mostly frozen over, although you guys coming up
okay.
has broken the ice.
Gotcha.
It is a small pond, no more than like 40 feet across.
Oh.
Easy to get to shore, and you're in this kind of grotto, almost like a cave that rises up, and then you can see the shore beyond it. From the top, Shay, make a survival check. Just kind of looking around.
So we're like inland. We're not in the ocean. We're not in
No.
like a bay.
No.
We're like in a little pond.
19.
19. You have, just looking at the geography around here, you have a vague idea as to where you are. You can see there are these like juniper trees that kind of race upwards, and you can see little dried up in the actual snow, and you would imagine basically dead for the winter, but these kind of ferns that only really grow in the general vicinity of like the southern part of the north. Exactly where are you? You haven't been here before, but you have a rough idea.
Okay.
You would imagine you are about a day to 2 days travel from the Lorebinder Academy to the south. Maybe 3 to 4 days travel to Port Quinn to the southeast.
Okay. I will relay this.
Interesting that you should say Lorebinders. I believe that is where I'm headed. I don't know them myself, but they have the capability of returning me to where I need to go.
Didn't you say you were heading to some other campers something or other? Or is that this place?
This is Camper's Notch.
Noted. I'm gonna like hop off. With one hand on my hip like that.
Alright, well, I woke up from with quite a stir and I'm hungover, so I'm just gonna be like,
Yeah. I'll just go find a tree to lean on and just give nods and airtime and also use it as a scouting, like more lay of land from overhead.
Sure. Make a perception check using Nod.
Yay! Hi Nod, haven't seen you in months.
Yeah, the Celestial.
I've been
up into the air.
So underground for so long, it feels so bad. Oh yeah. 22.
22.
Wait, advantage, duh. 22.
Okay. So, Nod takes off into the air, and closing your eyes and opening them again, you can see through Nods. And you see the beautiful, dark, slightly snow-covered forest, just a little bit to the southwest of where you've been previously. As you kind of take off and soar with Nod, looking off into the north, you can see where once there was this permanent bank of clouds that even from Port Quinn you could just almost always see on the horizon. You can see the edges of the marble structures of Yorn, now visible over this huge, slowly slowing lake that has formed beneath.
That's right.
Yes. You could also notice, taking a little bit of a further look, as Nod gets beyond the range that you can communicate, but you can still see, You see the river of colors that you had all traveled, the ice kind of frozen over, now dark, the water level significantly lower beneath the ice. It seems as if you've diverted the course of that river.
I'm gonna have to change the name of that river.
Yeah.
The river without colors.
Nod's ears especially pick up the sound of owls, and you realize that you are fairly close to the Wood of Owls, which you had traversed through previously.
That was initially heading towards Gulliver's Bay.
You were heading out of Gulliver's Bay
Gulliver's
towards Squall's End.
Okay.
So very, very close by are you.
Huh. Immediately feel a little bit of a pang of like, oh, we're close to home. But I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
Wait for someone else to say something.
Sure.
I'm too hungover to know what's happening. Just puking. Trying to steady my stomach.
So what do we do now?
I'm painting the walls.
Are you out of the craft or just inside throwing up over
No,
there?
I kind of pictured like if they're not in my way, or at least I was gonna like football hustle up.
Okay.
Just be like, "Ooh," and then just like right when I got to the top, just like, "Bleh."
Yeah. So straight over the side of the submersible, and it across. It just hits the ice, and then almost like kind of starts to slow and tacky as it freezes over in the cold. But you do so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel much better.
Well, Chrysix looks a little concerned.
Laugh at that
The
taffy-like
brow of this
substance.
dragonborn furrowing, but
Laugh at
turns. Ha.
If you think it's funny, here's some more.
What's Val Chrysix doing? I'm just kind of like not saying anything.
He's gathering his stuff
I've
together.
unnodded, but let obviously nod, have fun for now.
So as soon as Morwen clears the way,
Yeah.
he follows, kind of gingerly avoiding the side that had been vomited on. But then turns and kind of again says, "So for all of you, where is it that you're going? I mean to depart for these Lorebinders." And he looks at you, Shay, immediately.
I plan to go to Dungannon. I don't know about the rest of
Oh,
I was
finally!
gonna say,
Blah.
I need
Dungannon.
to make my way back there at some point. And the Lorebinders have their teleportation.
That was my plan. I have something to trade for that service.
I don't know if I could handle that right now.
I mean, we have
Blah.
to get
You see Morwen just has all the fur stands up on the back.
Yeah. This reserved, I don't know, in a reserved state, my heart sank when everyone's like, Dungannon. I'm like, oh, but I bought a bar and I want to check in on it, but okay.
A bar.
Don't give a
I'm
shit.
not saying anything. I'm not saying anything about that.
That's a great idea.
That's why I'm not saying anything.
I grabbed whatever I was drinking
This is
before
the
and
reason
heard the
why I
dog
didn't
in.
say it.
Okay.
All right.
so,
Anyways, I'll say yeah. Dungannon sounds fine as any place. We gotta keep checking around to figure out what's going on. Kind of distracted.
Well,
Insight?
besides creating
Huh?
a power vacuum,
make
Go
an insight
ahead.
check, yeah.
It's at 23.
23. All right. And I can test that with deception. Oh. I mean, you get the sense that he's homesick. That I'm homesick. Slightly. And it's weird, because obviously I don't really do that. Especially because of, like, my never talking about family or anything, so.
Did you have something else in mind, Heinrich?
No, we're good. Dungannon's fine.
well, that,
Seems passive
Good thing
aggressive.
No, I'm saying it's good. It's fine. Let's do
You see
it.
Val Chrysix looking across all of you now, still
My
having
guys,
his
my
answer,
friends,
not really made
My
it.
friends, it's fine. Only you know that. That felt weird slightly, so it seems fine.
It seems as if you all have some issues to resolve, so I plan on heading for the
no.
Lorebinders and
We're
from
fine.
there
We
to
know the
get
way
out.
from here. We're good. We got it.
well,
Let's
we
do
should
it.
we should stick together though.
Of course.
The area could be
Dangerous.
pretty well for a single person going alone at least.
Yeah.
He nods and just kind of says, "I would be grateful for the guidance. I have not been there myself."
It's pretty cool. They got a gift shop right out near the front. This giant eyeball thing.
He's... That's gotta be an insight check. He kind of squints a little bit.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I mean to return to my home.
Seems a good direction as any. Are we all good to go? Do we all feel rested? How you holding up, Mr. Navigator?
Stretching.
I am not doing well.
Yeah, you look over to
I will.
Morwen, the fur just standing up all over
Yeah,
the
but
place. The whiskers.
I'm already starting to drink again to hair of the dog.
I lay my hand on your back and cast Spare the Dying. It's a cantrip, so I will actually do it.
Does that cure my hangover?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Lesser restoration would, actually,
Yeah,
but,
but fuck that.
no, some water and time is probably your best bet.
You
So
probably
who
just
is-
feel like a weird chill wash over you.
Who is leading this excursion?
I believe it would be me.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm the only one who knows where she's going.
So
Well, I got
Shay,
this really cool map, and I know exactly where we are on it. I'm pretty sure, based on we've traversed here or whatever again. Can we triangulate that we're somewhere?
very specifically, a little south. Yeah, right about there.
Okay.
And so Farwater Lock is that
Right there.
circle, and then Lorebinder's Academy
this
is
is-
right there.
I mean,
A little further down.
We're still getting used to it in person, guys.
just advertise slightly the really cool dice that you got there now.
Oh yeah, look at those dice.
Wilder thoughts.
Yeah.
Courtesy of
Perfect.
our good friend Drew.
Dicey encounters. So
We are here-ish.
yeah, roughly there. With that map, there's not a ton of detail on it, and you actually kind
We're
of
right
know a
by
little
that
bit more.
triangle.
Well, I filled more in based on like the Lorebinder map actually.
Yeah. So, Shay, with you leading, no problem, especially with your knowledge of the area. As you walk, very quickly, you begin to kind of see signs that you recognize. You see the low creeping evergreen sort of bushes that are called bearberry. They run across the ground and have these like inch wide circular leathery green leaves. And you know that they kind of grow in a direction. They tend to follow these sort of paths. And so very easy to navigate using that. Go ahead and make a survival check as you walk. As you guys are walking, is there anything that anybody wants to do?
Stretch.
Okay, yeah, for
I'm
sure.
gonna practice
Stretch
my
out.
Elvish. I'm gonna narrate what we're doing in Elvish.
Fantastic.
Like, you know,
I'm gonna
just
try-
came out of like class having learned a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
And
like in
just
Latin,
like,
the
that's
boy
gonna-
walked to
Uscando el
What's your
La-
elvish name that you're gonna give
I think
yourself for the
after-
class?
Enrique.
I think after a bit of this, I would like float up to just get away. I was like
Yo,
start
so- Just kidding,
staying like
it's German. I don't know.
the same distance, but like 30
Heinrich's
feet above.
Heinrich's
So I
already
just
German.
don't hear Heinrich being like, "Yo soy Henry."
However it would be said in Elvish, I'm practicing it
I'm gonna drink
and like
to a-
peeking at my hip at the book and being like, yeah, that's where I
Nice. Okay, yeah, for sure.
I'm drinking to a point to balance myself out, but then accidentally go a little overboard, but not too bad.
Sure,
and
make
I'm just gonna
Constitution saving
start
throw.
like responding to Heinrich's Elvish in my own like slurred Elvish.
So again, Akka, similar to most of the trip that you had, you can hear Heinrich very enthusiastically and mostly correctly speaking Elvish.
Like
and
too
then,
formally. As
yes, definitely too formally, and
There's
like a
no
strange,
accent.
for you actually, kind of, it's roughly like the same dialect that you're used to. Morwen's dialect of Elvish that she's responding in is A, significantly less refined, and B, of a different court in origin. So
I
a
have
little
the
bit
spring
different.
Court?
Yours is spring court,
Spring
yes.
court, okay.
I'm gonna fly 30 feet up again. I just
No, it's just gonna go right by you and like stare you in the eye. It's just like one of these.
So yeah, you feel the cloak as you billow up into the air. And then as you kind of look down, just barely able to hear the little bits of voices from this little Elvish conversation.
see
Nah, just
anything nice while I'm up
make a
there?
perception check.
I rolled a 15 for my constitution, by the way.
Okay,
I
so
also
you...
rolled a 15 for survival.
Okay, so yeah, we'll do this...
I got an 18.
An 18. So, okay, we're going to do this in backwards order then. So 15 for survival. You walk for the first 2 or 3 hours without too much issue. You can see as you go by, this is a living wood. Not a place that is quiet and ominous. It's like some places that you've been. There's no dark falling pollen that could possibly put you to sleep. You see a lot of snowy dead scrub along the ground. You see here and there, this is 15. You see deer tracks. You see something that looks like a large cat, maybe like a bobcat in this part of the world. You see feathers here and there. You see those of ducks, quail, grouse. This is an active place. And here and there you come across these little mineral-rich ponds and streams, but all still frozen over. Morwen, the 15, just drinking as you go. Not great, but you're not vomiting everywhere. You do go a little overboard, and you can feel the spins start to kick in, but you're able to hold down whatever meager rations you've had.
Good for me.
Yeah, Akka with the 18. You can see the signs of life. You see Nod kind of turn their head as like other birds fly off in the distance. You see what looks like in one of the unfrozen areas, what looks like a river otter kind of moving along the bank. And then as you're walking and kind of continuing, flying, sorry, as you hover very easily for you, then you can see as it begins to kind of get closer to noon, you see other tracks along the side of the road that seem to be kind of walking. You probably haven't seen a whole lot of these, but there are very small bird-like tracks. Guntir would know them as kenku tracks, but they're kind of single walking along the side of the road.
Oh, I would probably know what kenku were.
You know what they look like, but
their
not
tracks
super
are.
familiar with their tracks
I would
necessarily.
probably assume it's like Arakaka or
Yeah.
kenku,
It's a bird of some kind.
some sort of.
Howdy Das and howdy Mama Pajamas. Yeah, so you have an idea. It's a bird folk of some kind. It seems to be walking in the same direction as you, slower than you are.
Okay.
But that is what you see. A couple hours go by with the elvish conversations happening and Shay kind of keeping a lookout as you go.
I'm gonna when I notice the tracks, I'm gonna go down and just float down and be like, hey, there are some avian tracks going the same way a little further ahead.
Would I recognize them?
Looking down,
back
you
up.
know that they're not Aarakocra. And so from that, I would say you can derive.
know.
It is probably a kenku. Yeah.
Well, since I have a little bit of a buzz on, I'm just going, I'm sick of birds. Oh, they don't know what they want.
Already floating back up.
You're like, oh, this conversation. And you begin to
Hey,
rise.
while you're flying, let me
How
tell you about
many
my
can do?
ex.
Maybe some other time.
With a survival check of 15, seems to be just the one.
Okay.
Yeah. So the hours continue to tick by. It
I'm
begins to
gonna
go.
look out for the kenku.
Okay.
While I'm up there, I might as well.
So if there's nothing else that you guys are doing, you get to about 6:30. The sun beginning to set and really become fiery off in the distance. Shay, you guys made pretty good time. The 15, no real issues, no shortcuts picked across especially, but you make pretty good time. Good enough time that right around as the lake gets pretty, or the shadows get long, Akka, you do catch sight of this little figure kind of just waddling along the side of the road. You can see this rucksack over their back, and they kind of have to stop every now and then to adjust it or gather something that seems to fall. Are you being especially stealthy as you were doing this? You're flying
I'm
in
just
the air.
floating
Okay.
probably 60 feet up above them, pretty much, and however far away we are.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to be sneaky. It's just one little kenku.
Yeah. So as you travel across there, you do see this kenku kind of turn. And
That's weird. Why is there a kenku?
you see the feathered, it says a gray feathered kenku. And you can see there are these almost like streaks. This is an older kenku. Like gray feathers and streaks of almost where the feathers are thinning out in places and they look kind of roughly. But you see one of the hands kind of come up and shield these black eyes over the beak. And then it just kind of waves a wing at you, or a winged hand at you.
I'm gonna wave back and start floating down and see who is this kenku waving to.
Yeah, you like kenku. Matt likes kenku. So yeah, you descend by. He kind of stops,
No problem
puts
with
this
kenku.
bag down. How close are you getting to him?
I'm gonna float, but I'm gonna get close enough to be like, hey, what are you doing out here?
He looks up at you. You see the beak open, but this weird, unlike a bird noise, it's just a mimicked voice. You would assume, but you just hear, "Yep."
Yep.
Turns again, the eye looking at you from the side, very bird-like.
Excuse me a second. I'm gonna float back away.
He kind of takes like one hop
Just
towards you,
gonna-
but then
just gonna
stops
fuck
and just
off
kind of
real quick.
watches.
And just like go back over to the rest of the group, float down, be like, hey, there's this kenku, a weird kenku.
Ah,
up ahead."
Kevin.
I wonder if it's Kevin.
Ask if it's Kevin.
Well,
We've
let's
got
just
history.
Go over.
All right, I'm gonna just.
I'm
You
gonna
start
look
going
over
back.
and about
walking
50
over.
feet away.
I'm gonna
There
start
is this
walking
kenku
over.
just standing
Yeah,
in the
I'm
middle
just
of the road
going.
now.
I'm going back over. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
okay.
Hi, Kevin.
The kenku turns his head oddly at you, and then you just hear him say, "Pumpkin."
Aw. Call me
So-
Pumpkin.
Kevin's so
It's
nice.
He
Morwen.
hops forwards once and turns his head, and then you just see gestures with one hand to himself. Pumpkin.
You're
Morwen. Hi.
Morwen. Hi. Just mimics you.
Yeah.
So what are you doing out here, Pumpkin?
Hops towards you. We're traveling, son.
Same.
Oh, where to?
You see, he kind of looks around and he eyes you real quick. Give me 1 second here. In a new voice that you have not heard previously, he says, "Well, that's simple, bird brain. We're going up north." He hops towards you one more time, and you see that mouth opens and there's like silence for a second, and then you just hear north.
Well,
I'll sort of like step around. I'll go, where north are you headed?
I'm still floating.
Yes,
I'll still
stop.
step away around, pretending you're there. Your hitbox extends to the
stand-
ground, so.
Don't stand underneath me.
You just glitch something through.
Yeah. I'll just do like the walking in place right underneath him and then sidestep.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, sorry.
Where north are you headed?
He looks around, then kind of glances. Make just a general intelligence check.
Know how to pick them, Joe. 6.
He looks at you, and again, in the voice that you just heard, he says, "Don't go telling anyone we're friends."
Ouch.
Yeah.
I thought calling me bird brain was bad.
Alright.
He turns and looks at you, Shay. What are you wearing, also?
Wait, that's really sad. That means someone said that to him. That's so mean.
The normal Zinni garb.
Okay. So he hops over to you, kind of pushing past the rest of you, and he is going to say, I did double-sided notes, so this is really complicated for me here. Give me 1 second here.
Double-sided.
He hops over to you, Shay, and kind of looks very pointedly kind of at your garb, examining the spear behind your back, the kind of orange, sort of loose-fitting martial arts type clothing, and then kind of seems to almost like peck at it and then look at you.
Have you seen this before?
He opens his mouth and says, "One of them sky folk right there. Squint and you can see him."
Seems familiar with your order.
He hops and turns, looks at you. Yeah.
I just kind of nod back at.
Oren,
Ah.
are you looking for others of my kind?
You see the eyes light up and he just nods, yes.
I can give you directions if you wish.
He nods and says, "We've lived and died side by side, laddie. Of course we're friends."
Yay! Pumpkin and Morwen. I'm gonna offer him some drink.
He goes over to it and just kind of, maybe he has no reason not to trust you. He just kind of pecks at it a couple times. You see a little bit less. He's about 3'3". He's small.
Aww.
So yeah, he seems
New
okay.
pet?
He kind of shakes his head a little bit and little droplets come away from his beak. He just kind of says, "Nah, lad, ain't so.
More for me.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah."
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have another swing.
At this
Taka
Okay?
floats up higher and higher.
Just up and into the next campaign.
Yeah.
Kevin looks
Is
at
it-
you. Or sorry, not
Kevin.
Kevin. I don't. Yeah, sorry. It's Kenku. So I think Kevin.
Yeah. Pumpkin.
This is
Kevin.
and for what it's worth for everybody, this is not Kevin. This is a very different looking
Yeah.
Kenku. Kevin was a younger Kenku.
Of course, you can tell the difference between things.
And also very different. He's very far away. But Shay kind of hops over to you, and you can hear in this very pain voice kind of say, "The mounted elves, they're escaping."
In
Escaping?
Orin still. Where did you hear that?
You kind of hear this little, almost like a bird noise, and then he looks, and you can see almost like trying to recall the right words. Zeld.
We are heading towards the Lorebinders Academy. You're welcome to travel with us for that distance if you wish.
Make a persuasion check.
19.
Is this all still in Orin?
Yes.
Yes. He is not speaking in Orin, so Kenku can't actually speak
Right,
even
sure.
Orin.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
Yeah,
to mimic.
they
So.
understand it though.
Yes.
But
What was your roll?
19.
Okay. Suddenly he opens his mouth and says, "What fools have around me? I lead the blind, and though they're worthless, well, they're mine." And he just hops up closer to you, and the little head just kind of onto your arm,
Huh.
and he hops back.
Shay, you made a friend.
So did I.
Yes. Pumpkin's going to
Yeah,
go with
we-
us toward the Lorebinder Academy.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, the
more,
more
the merrier.
Yeah,
He's-
that's exactly it.
He's looking for the Zinni as far as I can tell.
Oh. Do you think he knows? And I just sort of
Do you think you want
pantomime
just
Bjorn.
knowing where they are?
Probably not.
Okay. So then, forget I said it.
I am going to give him directions when we part ways.
Okay. Hey, Pumpkin, do you have any, Are you a trader? Oh.
My music was all mislabeled.
Ah.
Say again.
Time for a
Oh, hey, Pumpkin.
Pumpkin's mouth opens and that music just comes out.
Including the needle scratch and
I
static,
know.
right?
Yeah, how great would that be?
Well, the lyrebirds can do that, so that's a real thing.
Yeah, this one unfortunately unable
Yeah.
to do so. Howdy, Deacon Smith.
All right. Pumpkin, do you have any? Are you a trader? I've met a few others of your kind. You all seem to like trading.
You can see the head turns and he looks at you and he goes, "Nah."
Fair enough.
But
That's
he
it.
puts this little bag down, and looks over to you, and he's going to say,
Stick to the script.
"Yeah, I know it's a problem." He has a very. I got to remember because I got to do.
What phrases can I use?
Is going to say, "You're not so bad," and he goes and kind of opens this bag and kind of begins rifling around it and looks over at you. Make an insight check.
Okay. That's one of the eyes that I do like.
I'm gonna try to sneak a peek at what's in his bag, like kind of hover a little
Insight.
closer.
Make
Look
a
down.
perception check.
17.
17.
Yes.
You get the sense that he's kind of seeing if there is anything that you're looking for, because he'll trade stuff with you.
Sure.
At 26.
26. So glancing into this bag of this kenku, you can see a pretty scraped up cookware set. You can see various bits of like dried up herbs and flowers and things, although they seem like purposefully placed as if they probably have uses of some sort. You see a sleeping roll, and you see all these elements that kind of suggest this is a kenku who travels and is kind of
Kind of wandering.
maybe,
into-
yeah. It doesn't seem to like be like an adventure. You don't find any weapons. You see like a dagger, but more
No malicious intent.
not that you could tell. Nothing
Based
that
on
would
the
indicate
bag.
that.
Based on the contents of the bag.
With a
He
26.
opens the bag and it's just like guns.
Guns and drugs.
No, nothing of that nature. You would see. The only thing that is even
Is
vaguely
pumpkin.
interesting.
Pumpkin's got the best shit.
The only thing that is even vaguely interesting is a strange scrap of fur, unlike any that you've seen. Whereas the fur itself is white and almost Bruin in nature, it is the skin attached to it that's been tanned, almost kind of humanoid, very odd. But that's the only real weird thing, and you see it just kind of moved as he moves other stuff around.
Huh.
That is what you see.
Interesting.
I'll in a similar gesture like pull down my bag of holding or haversack and just start like searching, but kind of waiting for him to pull something out.
Oh, I'll
Okay.
do the same. Bring out the eyes.
Okay, he's going to look at those, and then look at you, and then look at those. This is the jar full of eyes. He's going to kind of take a step back. And kind
I
of
put it
close.
back. Sorry, pumpkin. No,
close
I
the
thought
bag,
I
and
thought
he's-
we were just show and tell. I'm sorry.
He's going to turn, and he's going to say, da, da, da.
I thought these would interest you.
Nah, lad, ain't so.
It's not for everyone. I understand.
I'm sorry, pumpkin.
Oh, it's okay, pumpkin.
But yeah, so I don't know, just
So,
is that it? Did that throw it off? Because this is fine. We don't need a trade.
yeah, just he doesn't have anything to really trade, so
Fine.
yeah.
No worries. We're good.
So he
Let's
closes
keep
the
going.
bag and
I'll
kind of
just sort
holds
of
it
like
up.
Heinrich, would you like to trade for these eyeballs? Good. I want to
Nah.
get
Nobody
them.
wants your eyeballs.
Somebody will want my eyeballs.
She does have jar eyes.
I'm just gonna like nod to Pumpkin, nod to Shay, and then nod the direction that we were heading. That Shay was
And
leading.
nod.
And as you
Nods.
nod in that direction, you see Valkyrie 6 already is
Yeah.
like maybe 20 feet or down the way.
Right.
But if you guys all wish, you can progress. Pumpkin now in tow.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have another 3 hours or so until it gets to a point where you begin to get tired, with the exception of you, Heinrich.
Well, I get tired, but
Not sleepy.
yeah.
And you realize probably in about an hour you're going to be getting to a point where you're looking at exhaustion if you don't take a long rest. Right around this time, Valkyrie seems to be thinking about the same thing. We're only about 6 hours out of the Lorebinder Academy. We can push on. Or we can wait.
We should probably wait.
Is these areas safe enough? Kind of like look around to anyone else who's been
Valkyrie
here.
6 looks
or
around.
not.
You see
Like,
Pumpkin just kind of
to Shay.
looking from one person to the other.
Would I have any idea?
Make a make a history check.
Don't you have the bowl? Can't you let the guy know we're on our way?
You return the bowl.
I did.
Damn, that's right.
I returned the bowl.
That's a 13.
That's polite
13?
of you.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be nice.
In normal times, Dominion is a continent that has had monsters sleeping for about 200 years. It's been one of the most peaceful places on the planet of Alberon. Currently, hard to tell. You guys had to fight a wyvern on top of a very familiar mountain to you. So, hard to say.
Are we still in forest or is it open?
Mostly forest. So here and there, there are openings. It's not dense forest. It's not like a jungle or like a forest per se. There are copses of trees. You're in mostly like a valley now. The sun choker chain is over on your west, and then elements of what are technically the Camellas Mountains, but really like the southeastern tip of the range, kind of off into the northeast. But you're in the valley that kind of snakes its way between the Valley of Igor.
Hard to say, but probably safe-ish.
I mean, it's alright. I got the night watch and also nod, so I think, standard procedure.
I think
Instead
it's
of
best
camp
if
wherever.
we are going to sleep to do so in the trees. It's at least some cover.
Sounds fine to me.
Valkyrie looks at all of you and says, "Are you meaning to tell me you've all traveled this great distance across this continent and you're unable to create shelter for yourself?"
You can find it usually.
He turns to you, Aka. You claim to be an artificer. You can't do these simple tasks.
Yeah, Mr. B, show us your stuff.
Mr. B.
Do simple tests. Let's see if I
Very well. Elf, observe. And you see the hands open up, and as he begins to trace these glyphs in the air, they spin into these beautiful calligraphy-like glyphs that settle into the ground. and they seem to form this circle that then has the earth rise up and become this almost pale yellow dome. You can see Velchrysix just put a hand into it, and it seems to kind of almost like rubber bend in before he passes into and then through to the other side. A moment passes, and he kind of through. Would you like to come in?
Oh, hell yeah.
That's why you
I'm
should
going in.
teach me.
So so Morwen, you
I stumble
through.
right in there.
It's a small kind of dome, pale yellow walls at the moment, but only like 10 by 10. It's going to be a tight fit for all of you.
Well, that's comfortable for me.
I'm not
Yes.
going in.
All right.
I'll sleep in a tree.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, Shay, you go up and kind of climbing these trees, very easy for you. Easy enough to find a place.
We'll offer it to Pumpkin too if they want to climb up on my back.
Okay. Pumpkin very excitedly clambers up on your back.
Take Pumpkin up.
He's
and
going to
sleep in
say-
a tree.
Okay, lad. I'll always be with you. He just kind of climbs up onto your back and makes his way up. You can feel him almost vibrating because he's so excited. And as you get to the top, you can see he gets on the back. And over the course of the evening, if you do glance over, you will catch him now and then kind of open these arms that at one point are these like stunted wings, almost as if he's flying. And being this high up is very exciting for him.
Oh my god, my
What
heart.
time is it?
Probably about 9 o'clock at night
Oh,
at this
perfect.
point.
I'm gonna and then fumble around and find the paired sending stone with Acial Lice.
Okay.
And Acial Lice. Hope I'm not disturbing your sleep this time.
Very quickly across the stone, you can say, you hear, no, this is a relatively good hour.
Great, thank you. Sorry, it's been a while since we've been above ground, so I couldn't really gauge, and it's a lot easier now. How are things in Colteram?
Well, they're progressing. Your ring that I've been working on for some time is nearing completion. Give me another 10 days.
Oh,
should do it.
wonderful, wonderful.
Is there anything in particular that you are
No.
looking to know?
That and also just the state of things since last we talked. It sounded like there was progress among the layers, the rings. I forget. I'm not good with politics.
The rings.
Yes.
There has been some progress. Give me 1 second here. Since you freed Colteram, many of the dwarves who had traveled south have returned.
Huh.
This has created interesting issues in the Port Quinn,
Right.
where many had traveled.
What issues?
I don't know much, but many of the dwarves sold their land quite cheap, and to individuals, I gather, not enjoyed very much by those in Serendil. So they've taken to calling it the 1 second here, the exterior quarter. Very few dwarves remain.
Huh. Okay. So less than savory's moved in?
Well, again, those of the kingdom believe that they are less than savory, so folk like you and me.
Oh, well, that sounds fine. Progress.
Am I-
It's never easy.
Where are you having this
Oh,
conversation?
well, you guys are in the tent thing, right? Or
No.
you're not? Oh, okay. Well, I just
Oh, it's
kinda,
just me and Mr. B?
I just walked away to take a call, so I'm kind of leaning up against a tree, just yeah. So I don't know, about 20 feet,
I'm
30
making
feet
my
away.
own shelter. I have to rough it all the time. It's fine. Fuck this dragon.
Fuck this potential teacher
So
of this
a little-
arcane.
after about 5 minutes, you see Velchrysix move his hand, and all of a sudden, the outside of this becomes mottled like green and white and blends into the background of the area very, very well. The inside looks transparent. You can actually see out, Morwen. And looking around, you see up in the tree, Pumpkin flapping his little arms. You see Heinrich leaning up, holding a rock up to his ear, maybe 20 feet away.
Yeah.
You see Akka just kind of grumbling to himself off in the tree line.
This is very nice, Mr. B. Too bad Akka doesn't know how to do this.
There
You
is,
should teach him.
Aishavai says to you,
Oh.
there is
We'll get back to that.
yeah, there is a rumblings of discontent amongst those previously in the upper class.
Uh-huh.
Your dwarvish friend raised quite a commotion.
Oh, Guntir.
Yes.
Hmm.
There are interesting political developments that are occurring, and so how long this peace will last, I cannot say.
Well, hopefully we'll be by soon. I can't promise that, but stay safe over there. I'm sure you can know how, so I don't really know why I'm telling you this, but that's all. Just wanted to check in, see how things are going. Thanks for the news about Port Quinn. That's a little interesting.
There is interesting things happening all across Alberon at the
Well,
moment.
Yeah. What else have you heard? We might be heading over to Dungannon soon.
I have
Any
heard.
news from over there?
Yes, I have contacts in Dungannon. People have gone missing. A large fire tore through a section of Lower Dungannon called the Anchor. The suspension bridge, the hanged road, is partially damaged as a result of this.
Sorry.
That is all that I know of Dungannon at the moment.
Okay. Well, that's good news. I mean, good to know, not good news.
That's good news.
Good information.
Aka, you haven't met Edelweiss yet, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah.
So, well, until the next time,
Have a good night.
you too. Just kind of like.
You
Hold
literally
the
just
stone,
called
just
her
like-
to be like,
just
what you
gathering-
doing?
No, it's. I just want to know how
kindling
soon
to
my
make a
ring is going to be
fire.
done because
Like,
I want that ring of telekinesis.
Getting all my
10
like,
days.
materials.
Yet again.
You keep like
Moving
dropping
away
things,
from
getting
where we
Make a
into
need
little
to be at the right time.
campfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a little campsite to rest for the night.
Allie, you had
I'll
said
make my
something
own-
before?
I'll make my own side.
Yeah, Mr. B, this is really nice. This is a nice trick. You should teach Aka. It'd be cool if you knew it.
He kind of sighs, and you can see he like sits down and he's kind of taking his equipment and like working on it now. But he kind of shakes his head. The Fazarakian techniques take lifetimes to accomplish. He is too old to learn.
Well, when did you learn?
When I was very young, and
Okay,
my
give
entire
me
life
like
has been
an age.
dedicated
Like,
to
how old
it.
are you? You know, that's
Make
it's
a-
perspective.
Make a
here,
persuasion
you know?
check.
I'm 5. What am I doing? Persuasion?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. That's one of my good ones. All right, so that's oh, that's a dirty 20. Yeah, I'm
though-
charming. Panache.
I do not know how your kind ages. I've met tabaxi before, but I've been learning since I was a child. My whole purpose, the purpose of the pledge, is to facilitate the learning of the techniques while simultaneously making sure they are not used against our kind again.
Yeah, but I feel like elves live a long time. Like you could learn some stuff. You know?
Elves are the reason that the Triwards were created in the first place. And they were created with the sole intention of destroying dragons. So, no, I don't intend to teach the elves how to do this thing again.
Ah, so that's an elf thing. I getcha. You can teach me.
No.
Okay, that's good. I'm tired anyway. Can't handle that magic stuff. All right. I'm gonna set up my little shrine.
Okay.
I got a bed.
Unroll the Guntir wanted poster as the elk. As the
Gazelle?
The gazelle. I knew it was
Which
a
animal?
Yeah, I knew it was a deer kind of
Caribou.
creature.
I was thinking
The reindeer.
giraffe. So I was
giraffe.
So there are
Oh, the
there are a few different named individuals like the wolf and the gazelle who are members of this organization that Morwen knows a little bit about called the Silent Circle or the Circle of Silence. Can't remember which right now.
We've all
Circle.
brushed up with that.
Yes,
Silent.
especially with Guntir in your
Smiley
midst.
face.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got so one of you has a token from that actually.
Gunter had the token.
Yeah.
After I had the token.
great.
Had the token. I think it's probably now burnt from the incinerator on the back of the fucking.
Or it's in Calypso's.
Yeah.
It's
Could
somewhere.
be anywhere.
No, it's definitely like on the back of that dude that he got fucking.
No, you got
Squeezed
taken
onto.
off of it.
Yeah,
think.
but the other I guess, yeah.
And then the other guy took all your stuff.
Yeah,
So he
so
probably
maybe he
has
has
it.
it,
Yeah. The manager. Oh, the worst.
Karen.
And then he was seen flashing it around at a bar and then got murked because of it.
Probably.
Oh.
So someone else in the order has it back.
Whole new campaign is to follow this coin.
Why not?
Alright, anywho.
We'll do a one shot about it one time.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the night passes. You create your shelter in your kind of
grumpy shelter.
your grumpy space.
Grumpy
It's cold, not terribly like
Grumpy
bitingly
hood.
cold.
I made a fire.
Yeah,
I used
yeah.
firebolt. Bing. Fire.
But looking over at this enclosure that you would imagine is probably pretty warm within, and it is climate controlled. It's like 70 degrees in there.
Very nice.
A little bit more bitterness.
Ring of Warmth, and I'm just walking around.
Hunter, make a perception check as you kind of keep an
Can I do
eye out for
one
the
on the
night.
ground and then do one in the air?
Just make a perception check at advantage.
Okay.
Also, I have just a quick question. Is the dome like soundproof? Like, can I hear the outside?
You can hear the outside, yes.
Okay.
Am I using Nod or me?
You.
Me? Well, that's 13.
Okay. Over the course of the night, you hear movement, but nothing concerning. You hear the sound of animals kind of moving through. At one point, you hear like the loud exhalation of maybe a moose or a caribou, perhaps. Do you have a proficiency in nature? No? I don't know. Sometimes people take that.
It's fine. I'm not anything.
You hear
it's never an
birds.
adventure before this.
You hear birds and you hear beasts.
Yeah.
But outside of that, hard to tell what.
That's
I'm
fine.
good at nature.
But the night does pass. You could mark off Elvish if you are going to be learning some Elvish.
Yeah, just spend some time. 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
So I've been doing it. I'm at 92.5.
Just do 3.5 hours tonight.
Trancing by
Make it
my
an even
grumpy
number
fire.
here.
No.
Round up.
I'm only going to do 2 hours next time, and then it's going to be 94.5.
Oh, how cool.
The night passes without issue. The hours tick by and slowly the sky gets lighter and then morning comes. One by one, you wake up. Shay, you first, doing your monkey business. You would wake up and find that Kevin, God.
Yeah. Kevin.
Pumpkin. Pumpkin, still asleep. One by one, you come to, and is there anything that you guys are doing in the morning before you set out?
Putting out my grumpy fire. I'm just like kicking it after I get out of my trance.
Yeah, it's one kick and the embers go out.
Done.
I'm going to test out that Gamble's food platter thing.
Okay.
Because I've never used it.
You haven't.
I'm going to try it out.
Okay. So,
Being in this area above ground reminds me of traveling to Squall's End and therefore Gamble. So.
sure. So what are you doing with it?
He said there's a button.
Mhm.
Seems pretty obvious. He said it expands, so I'm going to put it on the ground a little bit away from me, push the button, and think like delicious breakfast, like general spread of eggs, bacon, toast, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So you picture this in your mind and you press your thumb down onto this, like the single button on this platter.
Yeah.
And you watch as the stone, like one by one, almost like leaves on a table, it kind of pulls itself out. And as it does, you can see ghostly, phasing into existence almost, the dim outlines, like silhouettes of food. At first, it's just like this lumpy kind of shape, but slowly you see cups and saucers and plates. And suddenly you see, although you can still see through it at first, these long pieces of bread. And then all of a sudden you can begin to smell bits of it, all of you. And before too long, you see about a 5-foot long platter of eggs, bacon. It's just this full spread of breakfast. Pretty much anything that you could picture steaming in the cold air.
I'm going to like quickly throw in a last minute request and just be like, oh, biscuits and gravy.
And at the very end of the platter, as it like unravels, the biscuits and gravy just
Like,
appear.
I'm just gonna poke out my head, just biscuits and gravy.
And you see right like,
And I'm just kind of like, I'm just staring there very like satisfied with myself. And like, oh yeah, like, I did that. Guys, breakfast is ready. I'm kind of like looking around at anyone I can see.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm just kicking over all the twigs and stuff that I had used to make a little shelter.
the shitty little lean-to. Morwen, Valkyrie 6 turns to you. You need to leave first. This will collapse as soon as I exit. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm packing up my shit and leaving.
Okay, you pack up your shit. You right out through, and suddenly, looking back behind you, it's hard to see the dome. It's very camouflaged, but he steps through a moment later, and the whole thing just disappears. He is going to turn and look at this long platter now, the steaming food. You see pictures of coffee, all kinds of things. He narrows his eyes and turns to you. Elf, is this your work?
I'm just gonna like kind of whistle and
Kind of hobbles over to
lean
it
over,
and kinda
grab some
begins to
bacon,
inspect
just
it.
like eat it and just start, walking around.
Oh,
doing some morning
I
stretches.
have a biscuit covered in gravy just
That's
in
true.
my hand.
I would make a
just
biscuit
like-
gravy sandwich with like bacon and eggs.
I'm gonna say yes, pretending like I thought that he was talking about the campsite, so that I'm not technically lying.
Make a deception check at advantage because you're not technically
I'm also-
lying.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
I just cobbled it together.
Sure.
I'm eating with mage hands, so my
No
hands
big
don't get
deal.
dirty.
Not a
Excellent.
big
Yeah,
deal.
so you go to reach for it, and you see Morwen fur caked in gravy, like dripping all
I
over.
just like, hand back a little bit, and then mage hand out from the hand, and then just like,
Perfect. Yeah.
That's so goofy.
Every now and then you see the mage hand just flick off some of this gravy
I'll
onto the
just
snow.
dismiss it and reenact it, so it's like cleaning itself.
Yeah, great. Love it.
It's a 16.
Okay.
I'm gonna use a flash of genius to make it a 21.
You really want to impress this guy.
Yeah, I want him to fucking teach me some
Burn
shit.
your resources.
He nods and kind of looks. Well, it's interesting that you did that. He looks and kind of begins to examine it a little bit closer. This is fascinating work, Elf, although not artificing by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, I'm
Very interesting tinkering.
multi-talented.
Then he kind of just looks at it. There may be hope for you yet, Elf. He stands up and kind of gathering his things. Shall we depart? And you see suddenly this kind of... And looking over, you see Kevin like face planting into the snow.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
I would have
Where's my
waited
pen?
until Pumpkin woke up and then carried him.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Pumpkin.
That's literally what I'm writing. So Pumpkin, going down with you, rushes over to the food and very excitedly begins to just shovel food into his mouth. This is much more than he's used to eating for breakfast. But if you wish, you can depart. Is there anything that you want to do before you start walking? It's only about 6 hours until you get to the Lorebinder Academy.
I'm just gonna like kind of look over at Heinrich and be like,
Do you want? You don't forget to eat.
oh well, I grabbed some on the way.
Okay, yeah. Grab a little food and kind of begin to eat. But
Is Cry6 looking?
at the food,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Okay.
still examining
Well,
his plate.
I'll just wait until everyone's done, and then I'll recollect it when he's not looking.
Okay,
It's mine.
so
That's what I was like.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting until he's not looking. I'm picking up on what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not Sullivan this time. I'm
Yeah.
observant of subtleties. In
you
people.
press this button, and all of a sudden you see the food like begin to phase out, and as it fades away, suddenly the plate kind of closes section by section until you are left with just the simple plate.
And I put it in the bag.
And as you do, there's just this whiff of almost like maple syrup and bacon as it just disappears.
I didn't say maple syrup.
There's maple syrup. You said general breakfast.
God damn. He really knows what to do. That's amazing.
Yeah. You all begin to walk. And without even a survival check this time, is there anything that you wish to do before you reach the Lorebinder Academy? Because, Shay, you are very familiar with this area. All right. You walk, making good time throughout the morning, and as you kind of crest or rise, the first signs of the Lorebinder Academy come into view. But because it is 10:05, this is where we're going to take our break. I will say, the very first thing that you do notice, though, is that this looks very different than you last saw it.
Bum, bum, bum.
But we'll get back to that in just a little bit. We're going to step away for like 10 minutes, give or take, and then we will be back. So it is 10:05. We'll be back at roughly 10:15, 10:20. We'll see you then. screen like that, but thank you. Oh,
All right.
what?
Cheers,
There
homies.
we go.
We
Okay.
back? Oh shit!
Oh, right now?
Well, hang on. I'm going to put us into break and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D game. Sorry about that. We're learning new things. Oh, boy.
And old.
I'm me
Yeah,
again.
that's tough. Ooh.
Y'all are fine.
Okay.
Babies.
We haven't done that.
You're weak.
Whew. Oh. Don, thank you for the welcome back. Welcome back to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D campaign. Man, that was tough. We'll jump right back into it. You guys have begun your campaign by meeting the kenku named Pumpkin, not Kevin. And in conversing with Pumpkin, you learn that he knew a little bit about the Zimni, seemed to know a little bit about the Ald, but was mostly just excited to get off the ground for a little bit and to eat some delicious food. Heinrich, you made a great breakfast for everybody, using Gamble's plate that Akka, you took credit for making in a very roundabout way. Finally getting some level of interest from this Dragonborn. But you took off walking in the early morning, and getting close to noon, Shay, you were the first person to see the Lorebinder Academy, although it is somewhat different than you had left it. Give me 1 second here. Okay. The first thing that you notice as you crest the snowy hill and you come to a part of the... 1 second, let me change this music here. What I had done was I had put all of the... what's it called? All the music on my other computer and thought it would transfer over, and it didn't.
I know it doesn't do that.
I know. So, yeah, why not? As you crest this hill, you can see the very first thing, that huge drift globe that usually kind of sits in the tower above the main building on this campus. No longer that pale yellow. It is now a almost deep amber color, different than you had seen it previously. You see these beautiful trees with the crystalline leaves that Morwen had played songs on the last time that you had been here. They no longer have that rainbow sheen across them that they had previously. The dark bark now seems to almost have oil that is dripping off of thorns that have pushed through the bark. You see less foot traffic overall, and the blue robes of the Lorebinders number many more than they had previously. You also see the 2-foot-tall stone wall that surrounds the campus. This border has these 8-foot-tall blue pikes of force that seem to rise up maybe 3 inches across or apart, almost like a fence, arcane in nature for sure. And then you also notice of the Lorebinders that you see, no longer are they wearing just those blue kind of tunics and robes that you had seen previously. Many more now have these almost stiffened blue fabric scales that form these skirts of plates along the thighs. They seem almost dressed more for combat. And you can see short swords or rapiers amongst them. These kind of belts and bracers that also have these bits of fur to combat the cold. You see black hoods across these individuals that fall across the shoulders with these silver chains that seem designed to kind of hold the hood down against the chest. But it seems to be a place that is much more alert than you left it. You guys doing anything with that, or continue?
I mean, are the trees still sandstorm playable?
So as you kind of walk closer and get a little bit closer, you see the trees, you see the little leaves. They're kind of flat, whereas before they were like crystalline. They seem to almost be like matte in nature. So you could try, but you're guessing probably not.
I'm just going to test one out.
Okay. So you're going to have to go by this wall to do so. And you can see the wall now with these like walls of force. But give me just
Do you think they're
Would-
defending against?
Look around for any sort of signs of a skirmish and or enemies.
make a perception check.
24.
So you gaze down, kind of channeling your training into being able to concentrate and filter out the environment and the other people. You don't see a skirmish necessarily, but you do notice, kind of close to the southern entrance on the opposite side of the campus that you're approaching. Or sorry, you see horses, and they're all gilded in the purple and green of Sarentil, the kingdom to the south, that the Lorebinders have taken great care to kind of build their campus outside of the jurisdiction of. But you see maybe 3 or 4 of those horses. But you don't see a skirmish.
Okay.
Just gonna walk up and do it. I see any Lorebinders near the what would have been entrance. I'm assuming that's now hiked up.
So approaching the entrance, there is one of these Lorebinders. You see the black hood,
Yeah.
very much in like combat garb. You still see the blue and the ornate L on the chest, but very much more dressed for battle. And
Sure.
you see he approaches, but then kind of stops. And you see, mostly noting you, Heinrich.
Hail, well met.
He nods. You're all the Finger Gang?
Not really anymore, no.
Well, you're the ones that Boron knows, right?
Correct.
All right, yeah, come on in.
Yes.
He kind of gestures. He points to you, Heinrich. Not many with that kind of arrangement, you know?
Right, exactly, and it was Boron that I was hoping to speak with.
Well, he's looking to talk to you, too.
Wonderful.
You know the way to the office, or you need an escort?
No, we are all set as long as it's safe around here, and I kind of just gestured onto the...
What's happening?
Oh, well,
here?
you know, with everything that's been going on in the area lately, we decided we need to step up our defenses. You got to talk to Boron. He knows a little bit more.
Fair enough.
Mind if I quickly play your treat?
I'm sorry?
It's alright, I got it. A little tap.
And nothing. You just hear the sound of your little claw touching the crystal. No music.
Like,
Just gonna turn back to the guy. Thank you.
Everything's kind of in defense mode right now, so you probably don't want to touch too many things.
I'm gonna ignore that completely.
I'll just start leading everyone who's following to Boron.
So you walk across this snowy campus, seeing the 3 primary buildings, but many more Lorebinders around. And you do see these kind of looks as you go, but without too much trouble, you make it to the main building. Walking in, you can see the circulation desks, although nobody manning them, and you don't see the huge cluster of scholars that you'd seen previously. This is a much quieter place. Give me just 1 second here.
Quickly look at
Absolutely. There are still a handful of people here, and so you are, there are people shuffling around and moving papers, and there are certainly still people, like, studying and researching, but you don't see any Lorebinders in here. Here and there you'll see 1 or 2, but none of the, what are they called? The transcribers that you had met previously. These are like full Lorebinders here. But making your way in, you're not stopped. You can walk in the direction that you know the Lorebinder's office to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You sneak your way down the wooden hallways, past these huge rooms of just shelves and shelves and shelves of books that stretch up into these 20-foot tall ceilings. As you get to Lorebinder Boron's office, the door opens, and you can see exiting this 6-foot tall woman in dark plate mail armor with the field of stars of Sarentil in purple and green across a cloak on her back. You can see this great hammer at her side. There is something magical about the great hammer. She walks by and she kind of just regards you as she walks.
That's a great hammer.
She turns and she's about to talk, and you hear from behind her, or from beyond in the doorway, "Finger Gang, please come in."
Rue the day.
She just kind
Walk
of
in.
She kind of looks. She looks at you and smirks and kind of nods and continues on. But do you all enter?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk in to see Boron, this Goliath,
Yeah.
like 6'6", his barrel chest stretching the Lorebinder fabric of this. He is still wearing the regular attire of the Lorebinders, no armor on him. But he looks to all of you. Give me just 1 second here. "I have been waiting for you to return for some time. There have been many developments. Please, come in. Close the door behind you, if you wouldn't mind."
Sure, thaumaturgy.
Okay. Shuts. He nods. There are 5 or 6 chairs, and you can kind of pull them up to the desk if you wish. He gestures for you to sit if you want.
Is Pumpkin with us in this room?
He sits down as far as
Wonderful.
Yeah.
He nods and looks at Pumpkin, looks at Velchrysix, and looks at Akka.
Uh-huh.
So your group has grown.
Temporarily.
Yeah.
I'll say this plainly. Can everybody here be trusted?
No.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, Velchrysix, but we have...
I was thinking the kenku.
Velchrysix looks around at all of you and says, yes, well, if it's all the same to all of you, I'm just trying to get somewhere. Is there a teleportation circle that I could use, or that somebody could use on my behalf? And you see Boron kind of nod. Yes, there is a fee associated with it if you had some kind of... And you can see Velchrysix kind of nods. He turns and pulls out this... it's a scroll case. You've all seen magical scroll cases before. This one looks different. This dark kind of material. And even as he pulls it out, you can see Boron kind of stand up and go, we'll take care of that. And he kind of leans down. You see his hand move across something. The door opens. You see a Lorebinder come in, full battle gear. Could you please escort Mr. And you see Velchrysix go. He looks at Morwen. Mr. V. And says,
Mr. V.
could you please escort Mr. V to the teleportation chamber and help him with his fee? And you can see Boron looks very concerned. But Velchrysix nods, looks at all of you. It was interesting.
Oh, Mr. V, give me your number so I can keep in touch. What's your address? Let's be pen pals.
No, I don't
Oh.
think we will.
Oh, I mean, I thought
He turns and
we
walks
were.
away. And Boron looks at you, Morwen, and kind of like a sympathetic look on his face.
Thought we were friends.
Morwen, I think
Shared a dome last night.
you can see his eyes furrow at that.
I think everyone's like...
The door shuts
Came out of
and
the
he
ground,
turns to
it's
you,
just funny.
Akka. We have not been introduced.
Haven't we?
Have you? Oh, you did. Right, you did
You
meet him
were
briefly.
here.
Yep.
It wasn't that. So you had
We
met.
weren't with him.
No, but you had met him previously. That's right. So never mind. You have concerns about this
Good to see you.
new individual.
A little bit. Did you get?
I thought
Was
it was
I the
cool.
only one?
Sorry, the one who just left.
Yeah. A little
Sure.
bit,
He
you know.
hell-bent on making dragons rule over the earth again.
A little fanatical in my
A little
opinion.
bit. I would agree with you on that.
I think he just misses his family. I can't hate that. You miss your family. I miss my family. What's the difference? I would like it if they were around more. His just happen to be dragons. You can't pick your family.
I mean, what did
Heinrich.
he offer you to teleport?
It's something that belongs in the restricted section, certainly.
What does that mean?
Make a persuasion check.
Bro, I'm a member of the collective.
Bruh.
That is a 1 plus whatever my persuasion.
It means it is something not meant for those outside of the academy to handle, at least at this juncture.
So how would he have obtained it?
That is a good question.
I'm
But
going to ask.
if he is willing to relinquish it, that is all that I need to know.
I'm gonna and then message to you and just be like, maybe go follow him and find out.
It is curious, however. Agents of your organization have reached out about similar things. One was found in Dungannon recently. Used, in fact.
What kind of artifact?
A scroll. An old scroll. But there have been items of that nature, scrolls, books, things, that the Dungannon Antiquities Collective has suggested have gone missing, or have been tracked as being bought or moved much more frequently than usual.
And you found one. Well, he found one and you haven't
found
now.
one. Yes.
I would like to what's his name again? Who are we
Which one?
talking to?
Boron?
Boron.
So once he starts talking, I'm gonna try to do a slip out of the room, and I'm gonna follow Mr. B.
Okay, make a
And
stealth
we had,
check.
We had message too, and so like this is kind of like a joint effort. I'm gonna like slight thaumaturgy. I don't know if I can. The door.
No, just do like a.
I don't
when
think
you
so. I think it
cough
only
to-
slams open and shut, right? Yeah.
What are you trying to do with it?
Excuse me.
What are you trying to do
I
with
just
it?
want to read the literal. Fly open or slam shut. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I can't.
Ooh, try and find me.
What was your stealth
That
check?
is a 35, my friend. Natural 20.
Whoa.
So the door opens and shuts, and nothing seems different. But Morwen, you just disappear and kind of begin to follow along, sticking to the shadows of the stone walls and hiding in the stacks of books as you kind of progress. You follow for a little bit through the main stacks, past the front desk. You follow a similar trajectory that you'd gone. You guys have teleported from here before?
Yes.
I think so.
So similar trajectory that you'd found previously into the library. You get to this kind of circular building within a building. And here they stop. He kind of looks around, gets close to the door opens, and the two step in, and the door shuts. You would remember that this was a restricted part of the library. Doing anything?
And it's just open and shut immediately.
Yeah.
Gonna take a look at this look.
Okay. Looking at this lock, make an investigation check. It's yeah.
Is that the restricted section
It is.
that I'm able to go into?
Theoretically, yes.
It's a 15.
15. You get close to this lock. It's complex, not necessarily impossible to pick. You get the sense, even getting close to it, though, there is something not quite right about it, and you would imagine there is an element of it that's trapped, although not in a way that you understand.
There's nothing I can. Is there like a little.
Nothing to see through, unfortunately, no. Make a perception check.
Eavesdropping, being creepy. Let's see, 18?
An 18.
Yeah.
Okay. With an 18 listening through, it is a heavy door, but you do make out a few words. The thing that you really kind of hear is even with an 18, it is a solid iron door. I'm going to say you don't really make out much. You hear the muffled voices, and you don't hear anything that sounds like arguing. But you hear it kind of trail off into the distance as they walk down a hallway, and then presumably downstairs. You hear echoes, and then kind of getting quieter and quieter.
And that's where the circle is.
Yes.
We've gone
So you'd
to
imagine they're
this.
kind of like walking probably down a staircase.
Alright, well, darn. Alright, I'm gonna sneak on back or just
Okay.
pop up in the room like, like nothing
Sure.
happened.
Yeah. So as this is all happening, Boron kind of turns to the rest of you. Do you trust this kenku?
We literally just met him. Please
Yeah,
don't say
unfortunately, no.
He turns to the kenku. If you wouldn't mind, I have things to discuss. And you see Pumpkin kind of look, and then he kind of, the feathers kind of all go down, and his shoulders sag, and he just goes, "I'm sorry, Pumpkin." And he turns and
It's
just kind of
just for a
trudges at
moment.
the
Don't
door.
worry, we'll be right out.
The door shuts behind him.
Yeah.
Boron kind of follows him out. You always seem to keep interesting company.
Yeah, not by choice, but it happens.
You kind of chose to have the kenku join us randomly as we were.
Oh, we're helping him to his destination. That's it.
Well, the
Choose
dynamics
not
of your
to.
group are up to you.
Right.
This information is not something that should be shared with the public.
Right.
Speak of it to no one. It places you in danger just knowing it. He kind of looks around and reaches under his desk and pulls out this book bound in iron. The casing on it seems welded shut, although relatively recently seems to have been forced open. The emblem on the front, Heinrich, you can read as it is in Celestial. And it says writing across an inverted sword with fiery wings behind it, and it reads, "Property of the Burning Banner," in Celestial.
My eyes are wide.
This book details Calypso's. Its creation to seal away Azra, the goddess of rot.
Y'all.
It is written by somebody called Harold Aralandra, and speaks of a constant war with creatures sent to free Azra, as well as her maggots that writhe and strive to infect everything within. He turns the book towards you, and you can see this sigil in Celestial that details a teleportation circle to be used to enter some place called the Huntlands. Boron kind of nods. This will get you to Calypso's.
Huntlands. That is western,
Yes.
farther out from the citadel itself, right?
If you would think of the map that he had previously shown you,
Exactly. It's on
very much on the northwestern section.
one of like the farthest points from what would be the goal.
And he kind of turns the book a couple pages and then kind of turns it towards you and points. And it's a passage on the Huntlands. And he explains, no matter how you get to Calypso's, this is where you will appear. But using this sigil gives you some measure of certainty, an anchor, if you will. It is a dangerous place. The Huntlands is he kind of goes through and then reads, Yet for any who bear not the brand of the righteous, weep and behold the fiery condemnation of the burning banner, who will hunt them to extinction and beyond. Such is the extent of danger Azra poses to those without the ability to resist her influences and temptations. Then he kind of goes by a couple passages, from the Huntlands. East will bring one to the Blade of Aethys, the Titan of Echoes, who once ruled this realm. There the banner will not pursue, for none survive the Angel of Agony. He turns, so perhaps a way to sneak in.
Just like look at Morwen for the word
Did
snake.
I pop back up? Am I back
Yeah,
up?
about this point you pop back up.
All right. What else? Is that it? I mean, could I take a look?
Please, and he
Yeah.
turns the book towards you. Flipping through it, you see mentions of the Blade of Aethys. You see that this Angel of Agony was once an angel of the Burning Banner, named Onassis. His wings are described as bearing bladed plumage, and this sort of creature of intense pain and agony that kind of can turn the emotions of those around it into physical creatures that can attack. You can see as you go down south from this place, there is something like a river and a lake of fire that is really designed to be crossed with wings, so to do so without would be difficult. And then finally, Boron would direct you towards a couple of other highlighted areas. There are a few other things that are designed to guard Calypso's. There are powerful arcane seals that have been laid by a planetar angel. There is a labyrinth of celestial steel that houses Azra's prison. To free her, you would need to defeat the burning banner itself, which near impossible.
Right.
And then finally, the only way out of Calypso's, once in, is through something called the Chamber of Unity, within the burning bastion, the inner sanctum of the burning banner. So many layers of guards, traps, locks, and even more esoteric defenses seem to exist.
Right, and again, even if we were to get there, immediately be attacked unless we bear the sigil, and this book probably would not count, I'm assuming.
As long as you have this symbol, somebody could teleport you there, theoretically.
Sure, but I meant the passage that you read about hunt anything to extinction that does not designate itself to be part of the burning banner.
In reading through this book, it seems that the rules of engagement, if you will, for this burning banner is to kill on sight.
Right.
There is nothing within this place that should be there that is
them?
not them.
Yeah, got it. Noted. Great.
Knowing Jaraxa, at least the rumors and stories of him,
Sure.
and given this context, would I be able to gauge what kind of fight he's putting up? Or at least kind of a guess?
Hard to tell, but I would say, Shay, thinking about the individuals, first of all, he went there with not an army, but a fairly sizable force.
Mm-hmm.
He went there with a sizable force of former Xin Yi, He went there with with Crick, who one of the greatest fighters of all time. Beyond that, he is one of the greatest generals of all time. So if anybody could win a war in Calypsos against the Burning Banner, it would probably be Jurexa. Even with that, given what Boron has said, it would be difficult, but not impossible.
Okay.
Right. Do you mean to keep this here?
This book.
Yes.
If you wish to take it, please do.
Oh,
I only
boy.
ask that you take exceptional care with who it finds its way to.
Right.
I can't read.
Yeah, so you shouldn't try to take it.
Well, now I want to take it.
I mean,
I'm gonna go
I'm
take
gonna-
it.
I'm gonna try to get multiple bags of holding and do a weird Mobius strip of bags of holding inside of my bag of holding.
Yeah, why not?
Just to make it like nearly impossible for me to even find.
I don't think it works
I
that
know.
way.
There,
Put one inside another one, maybe. I don't know.
there are a number of things that
Does it say
also,
that?
as you have been traveling for some time, I'm not sure how much of this you know.
Well, hold on. Before we were on the subject of Azure for a second. I did want to bring another thing up. Did you take care of the rot that was here? The whole.
Yes,
Okay.
that has been dealt with.
What came of that? What did you learn from?
Seems to be you can destroy it with fire.
Okay, sure,
It doesn't seem to grow back,
sure,
but we also didn't give it a chance to.
sure,
We destroyed the item of furniture that it was attached to,
sure.
and we destroyed anything remotely close to it. There hasn't been spread as far as we could tell.
And the person and their studies and any of that knowledge.
The person is not somebody that we've been able to locate again.
I think they're gone, but. Okay, well, if there was nothing else pressing from that, then that's fine. But good.
I would read through the book.
I intend to.
Heinrich, you are from Sarentil, correct?
Well, around Port Quinn, yeah. I saw some presents outside.
Yes, unfortunately. But with the activities that have gone on within 1000 Gates and Dungannon of recent, they have been trying to gather allies. They mean to press through in a crusade of sorts into the gated marsh.
What's happening in Dungannon now?
The dead walk in ways that they shouldn't.
And there was a fire.
Yes. Actually, of interest to us, as it did occur inside of a private library that we do some business with.
Oh. Oh dear.
Yes.
Does
So
that happen to be located in... Shit, I don't remember. No, never mind.
Selwyn would
Yes,
certainly know where it was
right.
located.
Solon
Yes.
would have currently been there. No, not really. Not currently.
Ever since that fire, whatever had caused it or whatever it caused to occur, bodies have gone missing. People have gone missing.
Mhm.
There is a lot of darkness there, but
Is a source identified yet?
no. But there are a number of things that have happened that may be related. There is been no rain in the Meadowlands for nearly 3 weeks now, which is unusual for this time of year. We have sent a group to this newly uncovered citadel floating in the sky, a place called Yorn. You all have been there previously. We have now sent our own group. I did meet somebody who came by and had come very clearly, having had met you previously. Do you know of a Carranza Billows?
Oh, good, she made it out.
She made it. Oh god. How is
seemed
she?
quite eager to leave, but she
Certainly.
accompanied the group to Yorn. But seemed to be worse for wear, for whatever she had experienced with all of you.
Yeah. We're not too much better off from that experience either.
Yes. But I sent her with the cheeriest person that I could think of, and a variety of others. Their whole idea is to perhaps bring back some of the knowledge of the First Age. A few groups have taken interest in this place, and so it seems to be something of a race.
Who else?
As far as I know, there is members of your group who are trying to reach there at some point, although I think that has been delayed with what has happened in Dungannon.
Have you heard from the collective lately?
About 5 days ago, yes. It seems as if there are a number of objects like the one that your dragonborn friend brought that are being trafficked much more frequently than they had been.
Does that have to do with the dead not staying where they ought to, or whatever you said?
Sounds a little like ransacking to me.
I don't know. But from what I've heard, these scrolls, they come from a place that does have to do with the dead.
In Dungannon?
In Dungannon, yes.
Would I know about any of them?
Does this has to do with the necromancer that is coming up that the Grey Lady told me about, right? I'm
You don't
trying
know,
to put
but
that together.
for Akka, yeah, trying to put these things together. I mean, those all seem like they might be kind of related. There's this, you all did hear of a force growing underground that threatened the Duergar that they were preparing for. But he's also going to say, give me 1 second here. That's mostly what would kind of concern you. Yeah.
So I don't know anything?
This is all stuff that has begun to happen since you've left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
It seems like
Well,
that's
I have
even
a
more of a
question.
heading.
How's Thousand Gates doing?
1,000 Gates was recently attacked. Give me 1 second here.
Guntir's ghost.
Actually, recently having spoken to the Dungannon Antiquities Collective, it was on the same day, about 5 days ago. They were attacked in earnest by undead digging up through the ground and crashing against the gates. They held, but they suffered about 200 losses. This is the reason that Sarentil sent people here. They are looking for allies to push into the gated marsh in response.
Was Ro here?
I'm sorry?
Was Ro here?
No?
Oh, that's too bad. I'll have to send her a letter later.
Indeed.
Okay.
With the king still missing, Helena Morrow has sent a variety of diplomats and others out into the neighboring communities and even across the Emerald Expanse to look for help. I know the Church of the Six has sent members of the Helmsguard to the region, along with several of the Bellator Tempest Paladins. There is a lot of forces gathering in 1,000 Gates. For the time being, it seems fairly safe.
Well, good, then we don't need to head back there.
Nah, still gonna write her a little note.
Dungannon it is, I think.
It seems best.
Yay! Dungannon!
We are happy to help you get there. That is a location that we can reach. One thing that you will need to do if you are to continue to spend time here, however, with everything that's been going on, we are requiring that you be accompanied by a Lorebinder while on the campus grounds. I do not have time to accompany you, nor do I have the ability to bend this rule. However, I do have the ability to create new initiates. Heinrich. He's going to kind of reach underneath the table and pull out this large parcel wrapped in paper.
Do I get a title?
Are you saying that out loud?
No.
Secure.
He's going to kind of push this across.
Yeah, stick it on my forehead.
This contains all of the vestments of a Lorebinder and the appropriate items that you would receive upon initiation. The words are unimportant, but you are now considered an initiate Lorebinder. Slides this package over to you.
Thank you. It's an honor.
It's necessary at the moment.
Still
And should you
feels
wish to
nice.
pursue this in a more earnest manner once things have settled down, then of course you are welcome.
Yeah, this isn't a bad place to retire. Look around. Maybe not this office, but
But
the irony
he,
of a tiefling living in the north.
yeah, he nods and kind of says, within there is a ring that you should put on. That is the only thing you really need to wear, but the rest of it, if it suits you, you're welcome to as well. Let's see.
open and investigate this stuff?
Oh, so opening it up, you do see there is the blue and white robes of the peacetime kind of lorebinders, but there is also the blue and black studded leather armor with the cowl and boots. That is the kind of combat garb. It's cloth armor.
Yeah.
And then also a silver ring with an elaborate L from the lorebinders stamped into it. That is what's in there.
Okay.
Ooh, someone's got new clothes.
I'll at least put the ring on.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think anything else would fit over my armor.
Probably not over, yeah. It would be
Yeah.
an instead of situation.
I might try to do some sort of like custom fashioning of it to like work it into the. Well, I can't do that.
Yeah, but at some
find
point,
someone
sure.
to fashion it into the armor basically in patches and stuff.
Yeah. He nods to you. If there is any resources that you need that we are able to provide, we're happy to do so. It seems as if the mission that you have overlaps with many of ours as well.
Does seem that way.
A side request, perhaps, but if you have others traveling to Yorn, the kenku traveling with us is headed there.
He turns and looks towards the door, the one that we just sent out into the hallway.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Ms. Billows was our method of getting there rapidly, but we will be sending other groups as we establish more of a foothold. So if this kenku is willing to stay, we can send him.
I'll let him know. He knows things that I think would be helpful. My people are gathering there as well.
Interesting. I'll talk to him, but we can see that he gets to Yorn.
Thank you.
Is there anything else?
At the moment, I mean,
I'd like to look up some books. Just usual go down. Have
As long as Heinrich is accompanying you, then
I
you
just
can
sort of hold my
progress.
pinky with the ring on it.
there's no one else, right?
Heinrich, you also now have access to the restricted section of the library.
Right.
So
You can trust me.
he looks over at Morwen and then at you. Be cautious with who
Yeah.
you bring.
She can't read.
That she can take.
Yes, that is my concern.
Shining.
Shiny paper.
Rip.
Alright.
Was first edition.
Well, if there's something that you needed to find that might help us before we leave to Dungannon, we can go do that. I assume
That was
you
my
would be
plan.
busy
Yeah.
here.
I am quite busy.
Yeah, so we'll get out of your way and let Pumpkin know there's an option to travel north, and we'll start the research, I guess.
I guess so.
Very well.
Alright, I'll turn towards the door. We'll be around. You know where to find us, probably. You probably know how to find us anyways, while we're here.
While you're here, certainly.
Yeah, exactly.
Very well. Good day, Lorebinder Heinrich.
Ah,
And the rest
and
of
you,
you.
Lorebinder Boron.
Just kind of nods.
Ugh.
You all
Just threw up a
turn,
little.
and you can make your way out the door.
I'm just gonna like message to you, I'm watching you. I have authority now. No, I'm not gonna actually do that.
And you're wearing the ring, right?
Yeah, I'm wearing the ring. I'm
So
not-
as you walk out, there, you will notice those dressed in the Lorebinder garb do nod to you, and there is a level of respect that, it's not that they disrespected you before, but there is a level
It's
of...
just like I'm at least acknowledged that by someone else. That,
Yeah,
I got it.
for
I
sure.
got it. I got the whole
Us.
thing.
So, heading out into the library, what are you looking to research, Akka?
I want to look up necromancy and psionics and try to find out anything that I could figure out about the mind flare that the Grey Lady told me
Okay,
about.
so you guys are going to the restricted section, presumably.
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay.
going straight
Straight
to
away?
restricted.
Okay.
Why would I waste my time on things that aren't restricted?
Sure, yeah.
I would relay to Pumpkin everything. Not everything, but at least like the context of getting to
The stuff that
Yorn.
he needs
The
to know.
stuff he needs to know.
Okay. He nods, he looks at you, and he says, friends help other friends, yes? We will help you return home.
Zistris.
That's correct.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make it. I'm just looking up necromancy
Okay,
in general
sure,
for
sure.
Heinrich, but I'm gonna secretly be looking for that too.
For me, I don't even
He goes
I don't want
over
you to,
and he
you
kind
know,
of leans his head
don't
up
want you
against
to
your knee because it's
catch
kind of
him
like
on-
where he can reach. And he looks up and then he says, "It's okay, lad. We'll always be with you."
I'm gonna give him a little, like, pat on the head.
You see, he makes this kind of sound and then just kind of like waddles off into the stacks, looking around.
Like clacking talons on the ground.
So he's not wearing shoes or like cloth wraps around his feet, but yeah, not so bothered by the cold as this kenku. So you make your way to the restricted section. Morwen, are you going with him?
Yeah, but Heinrich, you have to help me write a letter to send to Ro.
Sure, we can do that while Aka's looking for whatever he's looking for.
Okay.
Shay, are you going as well?
Ro,
Yeah,
a
I'll
friend
go.
of ours from Port Quinn that moved to Thousand Gates, joined the force.
Hopefully good, but
Yep,
I mean,
that's why we're writing a letter.
that's-
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
You guys-
Surefire, one-directional way to figure out if someone's okay.
Yeah.
So you guys
I
walk
guess
through.
if you
and-
never hear back, then you get your answer.
We've never,
Oh.
anyways.
As you walk, it does get quieter as you do get to a place that is a little bit more restricted. You make your way to the door, and Morwen, you actually had just been to this door previously. But as you approach, Heinrich, it is locked.
Yeah.
And kind of trying the knob, it's locked, but as you touch it with your hand with that ring
Yeah, I
on
was
it,
gonna,
you hear the little,
just gonna, like,
and you turn the knob and it turns free in your hand, and
yeah.
pull open the door. You can walk in, no problem. You see the staircase spiraling down. You've been here before, Aka.
Yeah.
And so knowing your way
Here
around,
too.
Yeah.
make an investigation check at advantage, as you've been here and you do have a little bit of time.
I'm gonna
Natural 20.
Oh, I'm gonna help Morwen write the letter while he's doing that. I'm just gonna like clear off the space on the table.
That
Aka,
is
you-
for a total of, I think, 35.
Okay,
25.
25.
Not 35.
that is very different.
Go.
That's the difference between me pulling out the big red binder.
Oh, it is actually 30. though.
Okay, not 35 though. Okay.
Oh, unless I use a flash of genius. I'm not gonna.
So, up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Know
use a
thine
flash of
enemy.
genius.
Find that
Yeah,
book.
35.
35. Just kidding.
I'm
25.
finding
Well, actually 30.
the
Actually
best
35. Let's go all around.
So you stop, and before you even begin to look, you remember back, and you remember where the teleportation pad was. There is this series of folios that have all these kind of different fiends and different creatures described, and you make a beeline for there. You look and kind of glance and glean different like areas where you can go back and revisit. But getting to this place, you do find, after looking for about 20 minutes, this dusty purple tome. You can see the writing at one point, maybe like bronze threading or copper threading, now just like in absence of the cover color. But it is a book on the Mind Flayer Zeistries. And as you look into it and begin to read, a long time ago, in maybe like the middle of the Third Age, there was a Mind Flayer who rose to power south of Dungannon in the Kuatar Badlands. This individual practiced necromancy, looking for a way to extend their life, as there was some suggestion that something was kind of wrong with this Mind Flayer's physical form. There's a lot of speculation, no concrete details. A disease, a curse, just various possibilities. Ultimately, it is suggested that he sealed himself away somewhere beneath the ground to await somebody that might serve as a suitable vessel to come upon him. What information are you looking for particularly?
Well, I'm just gonna take this whole book, I think.
Okay.
But I guess like
So in the restricted section, the books are chained to the walls. But Heinrich, as you draw close, if you move your hand by it, you hear the chains.
I don't.
Okay. For what it's worth.
I would know.
I'm not
that he
gonna
could do
betray
that,
the trust
though,
of
right?
my new employers or brethren or whatever.
I've never seen someone else unhook it. For
Nobody's
me.
removed these things. No, these are not supposed to really be removed. And this is only the restricted section. This isn't like the
All
real
right,
restricted
I'm gonna.
section.
Is it? Does it just look like normal chain?
Make an investigation. Or with your investigation check, looking at it, it appears to be like a normal chain. It's pretty thick, but otherwise
I'm
mundane.
gonna like give it a test tug to see like, is it just like normal chain that if I figure out a way to break this chain can get it off?
Yeah. So Heinrich, you watch as Akka begins to kind of like tug at one of these
look around,
chains.
just kinda like,
I'm just gonna be staring directly at him. No. Just copy down the information you need.
I need
You're a
all of the
scribe.
information. I'll give it back. People are literally
What is it
coming
anyways?
out of their graves right
What-
now.
Yeah, but what is it anyways that's so important about this book?
Well, I think that the problem might have to do with this guy, and I'm
Okay.
gonna.
So he shows you this book.
Sure.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll just like casually take it and the chain comes off and I'll hold it.
Yeah. So as Heinrich touches it, you hear this ting, and the chain just kind of swings in the air.
I'm gonna grab the other end of the chain and like hold on to it, so that when he lets go, I can.
This book tells you about Zeistries, tells you a little bit about this Mind Flayer's search for like almost semi-deity status. They just want to live forever.
Right.
They talk a little bit about, I mean, kind of all the same things that Akka told you.
The Gray Lady mentioned this.
Do you think she's trying to align with? Or become...
Well,
what was
she
it? Something
said
about
that-
becoming the vessel or whatever? Was that part of what you said?
Yeah, so in the book it does talk about how when this individual sealed themselves away, it was specifically to await somebody worthy of them kind of inhabiting their body.
Well,
Do you fear that's her
she
goal?
said that this guy is Zeistris.
Zeistries.
That he was coming for the Tholdor, who you just killed. We just killed.
Okay.
So, probably trying to get on his good side, and probably problematic if he's
Okay.
doing. If he, you know, this
So
is
what
what
will we be
he's-
doing with that?
Oh, it's a book about him. Maybe there's something important to know. I'm gonna read it and I'll
Alright.
get back to you. It's
Okay.
how reading works.
Sure, that's fine.
Thought you knew how to read.
Alright. Well, I'll prove that I can, and I'll just start reading the book instead of him then.
So you begin to read
Pull
this
on the
book.
chain. Like, I'm reading it.
You read this book slower
Yeah.
because it's moving around. While this tug of war is happening, are the two of you doing anything?
Yeah, I'm waiting impatiently.
I already
for
wrote the
Miles.
letter. I thought.
What
I
did
was,
you
I
write
was
on
looking
it?
for the book.
Hey, Ro. Hope you're not dead.
No,
Yeah.
my note is literally, "Hi, Ro. You good? Miss you, Morwen."
Yeah, that would have taken all of you finding this book.
I just needed to establish it.
Okay, so you pen
P.S.
this.
So many stories. We'll chat later.
If you're not dead.
You good?
If you're good.
That's
You
it.
write this letter, and you
I
can.
have written it already.
Yeah.
And you can do whatever with
Please send it out.
you can do that. You know how to find someone to send it.
I can't walk around unattended.
She has a point. You should give
No,
her
it's alright. We'll just take
yank
this.
in the book.
We'll just take this book. I'll just fold the book back. Just let go. And then we'll bring this somewhere where we can sit down and read and you can find
I'm
someone.
not letting go of the book.
And you're not going to be able to compete with a Delta Stone
I'm
Giant
not
strength.
letting go of the book.
I'm gonna just
holding onto the
I'm
chain.
gonna hang out of the chain and just sort of like, grapes off the vine, your hand off of the chain.
No.
While they're doing this,
Yes.
not looking for any sort of like purposely with any information on the Ald.
Okay. Make an investigation check. I'm just kind of looking around. Yeah.
15.
So you don't find it in the restricted section. There's nothing that mentions the alt specifically, but kind of on your way there as you're going, you can kind of pull some titles out. There are books on the alt. It was a continent to the north, and a long time ago in the First Age, thousands and thousands of years ago, Dominion and the Ald were one continent. called Aldwin. Aldwin splintered at one point into 3 pieces that became the Ald, Dominion, and then later the Dominion split into the Sunrest Islands and Dominion. What particularly are you looking for to know about the Ald?
In particular is a strong word, but the context of the mountain elves leaving.
Okay. So there is plentiful information about the mountain elves in the Ald. They came from a place called the Ruby Spire. This crystalline structure that seems to grow organically from the ground. There's an event that's mentioned frequently about the Ald called the sinking. The entire continent seemed to plunge into the ocean all at once. The huge mountains that actually make the Camellas Mountains look just like tiny little hills in comparison are the only thing that now stand above the ocean. Everything else is beneath. Entire civilizations beneath the waves. And with that, it's kind of... there's not a lot of mention as to what became of them, but you would imagine they probably left when the sinking occurred.
With that, again, like direct searching is probably a strong word, but anything further about the sinking that I can find.
With a 15, probably not a whole lot. There's a lot of speculation. Tectonic plates and gravity, and there's somebody who's talking about how Alberon really has 2 suns, and you know when they touch, something happens. Yeah, magnets, jet fuel, all kinds of weird comparisons and conspiracies, but nothing concrete.
Okay.
No concrete.
Yeah, that's all you know.
Magnets, but not concrete.
Concrete isn't heavy enough to sink a continent.
We lost the.
You just need enough of it.
We lost the recipe.
So, with you guys playing your tug of war with the book,
It's not tug of war. It's a.
I'm hanging on.
I don't think you could.
it would be. I would say you can make competing athletics checks if you really want.
Or I want to.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I'm
I'm gonna say Aka, make yours a disadvantage.
There's a whole library. You're taking the one book that I picked out.
I don't think you can even. Yeah. 25. Are you a fucking flash of genius?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
Flash of
my
Genius.
book. It's my book.
Is this so important?
Yeah, I want the book. My book. Was it?
I'm
did
dipping
you
out of
get
this. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm gonna go
26?
find
It's
someone to
26.
26.
do my letter.
All right.
What you doing
I
there?
don't know if I can do anything.
I don't think you can.
Okay.
So-
after yanking it from, I'm just
It's
gonna hold
very
it
much
level at
a
your
simple,
face.
like, you're just going to scrape
yeah.
the hands off.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna hold it level and be like, "This does not leave the library," and then hand it to you.
Take the book. It's leaving this fucking library.
It's not leaving this fucking
It's
library.
fucking leaving
Do you,
this library.
do you think that? Do you think, like, it's not leaving this library?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you hand it to him, this chain and just connects to the wall.
Perfect. And I walk away.
Yeah.
I wasn't close enough to the wall.
It's extended.
You got, this is like a fairly long chain. It's meant to be dragged over to the, so you can bring the
table.
books to the table in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna start trying to pull it again and break it off.
Okay, make
I don't think that's how you read.
Make an
And then
athletics
I walk
check.
away.
I'm sneaking out to go find someone to send my
I'm gonna try to find Morwen because I can't see her anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna say without any problem, you sneak away.
Yeah.
I know this
I'm
place.
just now. I am searching, however long it
Okay.
takes me to
Yeah.
find.
So you look for Morwen. Morwen, you go into the lobby. You find it's not even a lorebinder. It's just a guy, and he's sitting there, kind of like with a pile of books around him, and he's writing stuff. So you assume he could write.
Some fucking guy.
Go.
Well, I have it written.
Okay.
Yeah. But excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of pushes his glasses up.
do you know how I can send this letter?
Well, it depends. Where are you trying to get it to?
1,000 Gates.
I mean, you could probably get somebody from the Red Shields to bring it over, or find somebody headed that direction and get them to carry it with them.
Okay. Where do I find the Red Shields?
I'm from Port Quinn. I don't actually really know too many
Oh,
things
you know
around
Morwen's
here.
miscellaneous. It moved.
I don't know what what that is.
What about what's his bar's name?
Cold Harp.
What about the Cold Harp?
It's like a bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy owns it.
I'm sorry, do I know you?
I'm Morwen.
Okay. So no is
But
the
now
answer.
you do.
That's fair enough, I guess. I'm actually in the middle of doing some research.
Oh, what are you researching?
Irrigation?
What?
It's like rain but slow and steady.
Oh, so like fog?
Oh boy. So he sits down and he begins to explain very, very simply what irrigation is. Heinrich, as you're walking around, you can just hear, no. It's not really rain. It's just like it runs along the ground. But it's always running. It's not like a river, though. And then you kind of poke your head around and you see Morwen just like in this guy's space. He's like leaning back and like trying to like move his notes around.
I'm gonna like one hand on his shoulder, Morwen.
Oh, what's your name?
Jesus. Give me a second here. They all have names because I don't want to like contradict myself later. So hang on 1 second here.
Are you high five? I couldn't tell if that was a high five or like what the hell.
It's a little bit of both, I would say.
My name's Fane.
Fane. Nice to meet you. Heinrich, this guy knows the Cold Harp. This is the guy I was telling you about, Fane. He owns it.
Oh.
I just sort of like nod.
You own the Cold Harp?
Sort of investor. It's fine.
Oh, don't be humble.
Morwen, did you find someone to deliver the letter?
Nah.
I can't leave him down in the restricted section too long.
Don't worry about it. I'm
responsibilities
good.
and all that.
I'm good.
I mean, how urgent is this letter? I'm going back to Port Quinn in 3 days, and I could
Do you know
send
the
it
Red
out
Shields
then.
near the western gate?
Yeah, of course.
If you wouldn't mind dropping off this letter, we have a friend in Thousand Gates that
Oh
we
no,
would
I
like
want
to
to talk
reach.
to Red Shields myself.
Well, I
You'd have to go
can't
to
really help
Port
with that.
Oh, I thought there were some here.
No.
You just said that there was.
There are a
Are there
few,
some?
yeah, currently here. They're passing
Oh,
through, and so
yeah.
you could probably
True,
give it
up
to
with
them.
this
Yeah.
Fane, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Morwen, outside.
Have
go
fun
for
with
Are
it.
you
your
all
infection.
staying here?
Temporary.
Okay. Well, they're in the only place that houses outsiders, so I'm
right,
sure you
I
can
was
find them.
going to direct you to the place,
Yeah,
that
it
we
is,
stayed when we first.
Okay, let's go.
If
Have-
you want, I can just take it to when I go back.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you though. Yeah, good luck with your ear infection.
Me?
And
Irrigation.
I'll talk to one of the Red Shields. Bye.
Bye.
Morwen, come straight back to the restricted section. I can't leave Akka down there too
Okay,
long.
no,
I'm
you
gonna head
you
back
go
down there.
you go see him. I'll go find the Red
Yeah.
Shields.
Where's Shay right now? Where is Shay right now?
I would assume still idly kind of perusing, looking for.
So you
down
look
the
over.
restricted section or in the stacks? I guess where was that information you were finding before?
So probably right outside of the restricted section.
Okay, alright. I'll like nod to you as I'm going back down basically.
Okay. So Morwen, Heinrich, you return down. What was
No,
your?
I don't.
No,
Oh,
Morwen's going
okay.
out
So
to
you're
the-
going to go
the
find the
dorms
Red
or
Yeah,
Shields. Fair
I'm
enough.
doing my own thing.
You guys are all splitting up again. Great.
My
Yeah.
strength check
We got
or
shit
my
to do.
athletics
Cover
check
ground.
is a 17.
17. So you come down and you can see now like a little sweat coming down his face, still just yanking on this book. It has not.
So what'd you
budged.
learn? Through your unique way of reading.
I'm gonna turn and just start reading it.
So
A
you
lot
see
of good
the
stuff.
chain is all the way taut over his shoulder.
it's
and
like cutting
kind of
into like
uncomfortable.
your
Yeah.
muscle or no, I guess
There's
you're
a
wearing
lot
armor,
of really good stuff in this book.
but yeah. I bet. I
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
that-
you bet.
I hope that you would share it
Yeah,
when you're
you
done
bet.
finding it. I'm going to, I don't know.
I'm
well,
trying to read here, if you don't
It's
mind.
fine. I'm not talking as I'm narrating what I'm trying
Shay,
to
you
do.
can hear all this from down the stairs.
I'll start looking for anything related to
Zeistries.
either the Burning Banner or Azra, because that's the ultimate goal. And
Make
that
an
was
investigation
what was just
check.
down
Yeah,
here.
sure.
You're on Zeistries, so I'm gonna let you do that one. Ugh, boo. Given that I have this fancy book, can I compare its structure, design, and like symbolism and stuff to other books to give myself advantage? Because I rolled so shitty.
I mean, it wouldn't really be giving you advantage.
All right, 12.
Okay. There's not a whole lot of Azra here, actually.
figured
and
pointedly
as
there
you
wasn't.
as you look through, almost nothing.
Yeah.
And looking at the book that you were given from Boron, there's no chain attached to the
Oh
spine.
yeah, this doesn't seem like it's from this plane, maybe. Or
No.
maybe, yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. It's written in Celestial. I mean, like, it's a good indicator.
You've not come across somebody else who writes in Celestial.
Exactly. So yeah, then moving on to the Burning Banner stuff, if there is any.
With the 12,
There is both those.
some information about the Burning Banner.
Mm-hmm.
They were originally enslaved by the Titan of Echoes in Calypsos before it was sort of transitioned into this demi-planar prison. When Athos was felled, they were sort of freed, though bound to sort of serve as this armed guard. There is mention that at times the Burning Banner has been able to successfully create cities and things of that nature. They are frequently destroyed, as Azra is not like a passive captive.
Sure. But it's not mentioned that Azra's doing that? Because it wouldn't have been written?
Nothing directly. It is so. This place, Calypsos, in the context of the Burning Banner, is described as an interplanar prison.
Okay. I would just know that Azra.
Yeah, but there's no direct
Yeah.
link of like this person. There are other people mentioned. The Titan Athos is mentioned.
Yeah.
There are a few other individuals not interesting to you necessarily, but it serves as a prison.
Sure.
The prison itself is called the Portent.
Right. I'll move on towards Athos and anything related to that.
Okay. Athos is not a whole lot on Athos either.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. I mutter as I'm walking around.
In this quiet space, you just
Yeah.
hear like the of Akka just angrily turning the pages, and then every now and then just damn it.
But I'll message it directly into your brain. Damn it.
Shut up. I'm trying to read.
Alright.
I'm trying to read about Zeistries.
Okay.
For real now.
So over the course of about an hour or two, you can read about Zeistries.
Jot everything important down.
You can learn that his servants were often animated dead, although there were a number of creatures that he was able to employ. A sphinx at one point he was able to capture. There is talk of him harnessing these creatures called cloakers in various guard capacities. But the primary thing that you learn about Zeistries is that mentally he's able to dominate creatures. And so his ability to kind of create less allies and more...
Thralls.
Yeah. Thralls, certainly. There was research that he was doing on transference of bodies. But that's about what you'd be able to learn.
Alright. That's it's interesting to note.
Anything on a final resting place or where we might find this guy? I yell from across.
Somewhere in the Kuatar Badlands.
Which is south of Dungannon.
Yeah.
Which is also south of Thousand Gates.
Thousand Gates is fairly far to the east, across the gated marsh, across the Sunjoker chain, from Dungannon. So that's pretty far. I have a map in the room. Well, hang on.
Oh! Peek into the DM's quarters.
It's a huge mess in here because I've been in quarantine here for a week.
He said it was a huge mess in there.
Great thing about playing in person. So,
Oh yeah, it's framed now.
Oh, nice.
this is Dungannon.
Okay.
This is 1,000 Gates.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
This is the Kuatar Badlands.
Okay. So could conceively be fighting on two fronts.
Currently, you guys are at the Lorebinder
Just
Academy.
Spreading.
Right.
Okay.
Here is Gulliver's Bay. Here is Port Glen.
Okay.
Where's the little hole that we came out of?
It would be in this little clearing, like right about, right above Iron Ridge.
Okay.
But if you guys want, you guys can kind
yeah.
of hang on to that.
Oh yeah.
Let me just take out my map.
I could put it in my bag.
My portable travel size map. Yeah, you could just out of the
Framed and
cul-de-sac.
all.
Yeah, so that is
Okay.
the official Dominion map.
Cool.
I have one currently
I
in
don't
the
think we
works.
can proudly just. We could put it here.
It is on
Proudly
Instagram
displaying
at
it
Alberon
so you can
RPG.
Look at it.
Yeah. We could lay it on the table.
At some point, I'm going to try to get that full resolution scanned and then printed, and then I'll laminate the printed version. And then that way you guys could just have it and write down stuff. But yeah.
Let's at least center it on where we currently are ish. Oh yeah, everybody, check this out. Live updates.
There we go, yeah.
How are we doing here?
That looks pretty good.
I want to move the dice box just for the sake of me not knocking anything over.
Thank you, guys. So, that is, now a little easier to tell where you are.
Yeah. There we go. That's kind of nice. I'm going to just
scooch.
OCD center.
Just a scooch.
Pretty good.
So, you guys would imagine you are... if you were to go to Dungannon, you can get to the Kuatar Badlands in a day. For you players, when you played High Sun, Dead Noon,
High Noon, Dead
High Noon, Dead Sun, whatever it was, that you guys had been just north of there, and then when you played Tome in the Desert, that was Aestrese's actual tomb.
In the desert.
The tomb in the desert, right about there.
It's the Kuatar Dig is located.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, this is important stuff that I am going to.
For sake of ease, too, I'll say you guys find a map within this search of the library,
Sure,
and so you guys can
Didn't
take it. No
I made a copy of your map?
Yeah, it's
That
not
was
as
nicer?
deep. It's
Yeah.
not nicer than this one.
No.
Oh, not nicer than this
Yeah.
one.
No, but you
nicer
copied
than the
it.
one that the apprentice girl gave you.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
certainly.
exactly. All right. I think is this all that we're going to be able to glean from the restricted section, at least that's of relevance?
To what you've searched for so far, yeah.
Okay. Dangers in and around that area.
In the Kuatar Badlands?
Yeah, surrounding it.
Sure. So one thing that you notice in looking for this is the restricted section almost entirely devoted to bad creatures and
Those gathering.
and so as you go and you begin to kind of browse, get a sense for what is where.
Badlands.
Yes. So the Kuatar Badlands are an interesting place for a few reasons. So there's a place there, like an abandoned monastery, just to the west of the Watchful Holdfast. I can't remember what I called it, but that is a place that is supposed to have some kind of demonic infestation. It's up on a hill. It's been closed off for some time. It doesn't seem to pose a threat, but it is not a place to visit.
Gotcha.
Within the Kuatar Badlands, within the books, there would be discussion on coming from somewhere to the northeast, somewhere within the Sunjoker chain, creatures of old wander out. You hear mention of huge, towering lizards with razor-sharp teeth and elephants covered in fur. And then just as frequently, there are arachnid creatures that crawl from the Underdark in the mountains there and will attack places typically a little bit more north, but sometimes that far south.
Okay.
There are creatures that are able to displace in space and time that go through this space, and you would remember hearing about displacer beasts before.
Mm-hmm.
Those things.
Yeah. We'll add it to the list of things to watch out for. And then let's gather our friends and head to Dungannon, I guess. I don't think there's much else to do here immediately. Oy. So I'll just start leaving to go back and
Alrighty.
find
Leaving to go.
I'm gonna leave to leave. Yeah, leave to go leave.
Try one more time. Give it a big yank.
Okay, so as Heinrich walks away, go ahead and make an athletics check. The DC does get higher,
I think I'm gonna use enhance ability.
Okay.
I'm gonna use bull
Bull
strength.
strength, okay. Go for it.
And if that doesn't work, I'm gonna see if dispel magic works, but I don't think it will.
Okay.
Just
Nope. Natural 20. Natural 20!
You actually?
Yeah.
actually.
So you
Total
wait.
of
You
what?
kind of tug a couple times and you test it and work on it and you kind of watch. And Heinrich like looks back, sees that you're not making any progress, and just like walks away. In this moment, it is like the moment where you're just like acting all calm. You wait, and then and you just begin like yanking and pulling, and like all of a sudden
I'll
you
be
can
out in a
actually,
sec.
you can
Sure, yeah.
hear like and the metal just
Yeah.
breaks. One of the little chains ting, 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 ting,
Like,
onto the ground.
Do I hear that?
Stuff it in my bag real quick.
What's your passive perception?
Fucking 12.
No,
Yeah, first
I
time.
stuff it in my bag real quick and I'm like, oh, no one's
right in the
on it.
bag.
Okay.
You do notice in this beautiful section of perfectly placed books, there is just one missing and a broken chain hanging from the shelf. But
Meant the chain.
So
you walk
what?
over
And
to
a
the
book
chain,
resummons
and
at
it
the
just,
end of it.
the little broken part shuts.
I'm gonna try to like tuck the chain into the shelf. A
Sure.
bit,
You just
so it's
kind of
not
shove it all in there like a kid who broke something and is like too guilty to admit it, and they just shove
then
it
I
back
just
in
kinda like-
place.
Is
It's
this
like, you put stuff in the lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Shuffle away.
Sure.
Do I have a book of comparable size?
This reminds me
You
of
have your inventory, I
This
don't.
reminds me of a sick version of Happy Cable's Happy Miles. Because you're winding it up nice and tight and neat and tight.
Oh, yeah.
You're actually like pissing me
I
off.
forgot about Happy Cable Happy Mouse. That's good.
Yeah, I guess
Oh
I'll
yeah, we haven't been
just
wrapping
gonna
cables. We haven't
tidy
been playing live.
tidy up the little chain
I
and
mean, we have been
Get
playing
out.
You
live.
take the two side books and kind of lean them together. Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to like
Live wire.
make it as discreet as possible.
Make a sleight of
but there's
hand
a
check.
book missing.
Morwen, you make your way to the dormitories, and without too much trouble, you do know the bartender there. He directs you to the Red Shield folks, and if you want, for 2 silver pieces, they'll bring your letter to Port Quinn and then send it from Port Quinn to 1,000 Gates.
Yeah, but like, wait, are the Red Shield? Where are they from? Are they from 1,000 Gates?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna ask them if they know row.
So the one that you talked to, probably in his 40s, like a little bit like balding on top. You can see there was at one point an attempt of a comb over, but over the course of the day, it's just kind of frazzled. It's probably only about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so maybe worked an early shift. Unclear as to why. But he looks up and I don't really know any row.
Oh, no, sorry, Rhodesia.
Oh no.
Oh, what was the bar that I met her at?
You mean in Port Quinn?
No, in 1,000 Gates. I ran into her.
Oh, it was the something outpost. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask if they know the outpost.
In Port Quinn or?
No, 1,000 Gates. You know, it's got like the little, doesn't it have like pot pies? And I mean that like,
I've been
you
to
know.
1,000 Gates like twice.
Oh.
So
Well, how are you liking it there?
have you been paying attention to anything that's been happening in the world?
I haven't been there around like
Like
myself.
a couple hundred people just died in an attack there, so.
Well,
you
yeah,
know.
that's why I need to get this letter to her. I need to make sure she wasn't one of them, you know?
Okay. Well, I don't know her, but we can get the letter to her. So
Okay, when are you going?
we're gonna leave in 3 days.
Oh, that's cool. What are you doing until then?
I mean, waiting for our customer.
Does
to be
this guy
done.
seem like he's getting irritated?
Yeah.
Okay, Panache.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna order us a round.
Okay. Make your. What does this say? I know it's contesting checks.
What am I like doing? Like persuasion?
Yeah, it's your persuasion against.
I
I
don't know. I'm
think
trying
it's
to
your
be cool.
persuasion against his insight.
Okay.
Trying too hard to be cool.
It's probably not because this guy's not great.
Well, it's a dirty 20.
All right, it's been a long day, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? And he kind of
Always.
saddles up next
My
to you. You guys have
My man.
you guys have a couple beers.
You learn nothing.
Yeah, is there anything you're trying to do with that, or you just having drinks?
Nah,
with
I'm just
learned
Morwen's
about-
just making friends.
Hannah, you
Just
come
likes
back
to chat.
to Morwen and this guy just drinking beers at the bar.
Well, I feel like first I would come out and immediately see Shay, and then look around for Morwen and be like, and then I'd head over to where I assumed that she
She
went.
disappeared
And when
that
you-
way.
let's collect her because we're gonna be going to Dungannon
So when
soon.
he's approaching, I'm gonna be like, oh, what's this guy's name? I'm sure we introduced ourselves in this chat.
Sure, Tarkin.
Target. Oh, Target. Hey, Heinrich, come over here. Yeah. So if you ever stop by Port Quinn, check out the Cold Fort. Cold Heart.
The Cold Fort.
The Cold Heart. But Heinrich, my friend over here, he runs it. You know, maybe you can name drop, get another drink.
You mean the place that old Tom works at?
I'm just walking up to which part of this? What part do I
When I'm
hear?
saying, oh, like this guy who owns the Cold,
I just kind of like
Cold
This
Heart.
guy.
kind of like. Hey, is she bothering you? Is this all? Are we all set here?
No, you from Port Quinn?
Yeah.
You own the Cold Harp?
Investor, not own. Just help him out.
Oh,
Trying to
I've done a
trouble-
couple things for old Tom, a couple times.
Oh yeah, how's he doing?
Retired, actually.
Good. Good
Apparently-
for
Good
him.
for Tom.
Yeah, no,
How's the
apparently
place holding up, anyways?
quite well.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know when you were last there, but the dwarves packed up, and that was the primary competition. And
Right,
Proust, when
That's the investment. I'm always thinking ahead.
yeah, they got rid of the laws that said that only Proust Pale could be served, and so
Right,
they had
right.
to jump
Right,
all
well,
over this idea, and they've diversified into a whole bunch of different
Perfect.
beers. And
Tom listened.
as a result, Tom was able to kind of tidy things up pretty well. He retired and moved over to Farshore.
Ah, good for him.
Yeah, so
Beautiful
it's just
place to
that
retire.
the other tiefling who's working there is kind of a little scrap, a little thin for help.
What was the
Scorn.
Scorn? I'd be like,
Ska.
Scorn?
Ska is who
Ska?
he would call him.
Scared.
Yeah, I think that's the guy. There's not a whole lot of
buddy's
tieflings in Port Quinn.
Yeah,
Give me that
I
good
know him. I
bacon,
mean, of
Ska.
course I know him. Ha ha ha. Just pointing my horns.
Buddy.
Oh,
guy.
I didn't mean that all of you would know each other or.
No, it's fine. It was.
He's kinda, like,
lighthearted
flustered
joke.
now.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Do you want a bit Morwen? Can you get him a beer? What's your name?
It's Heinrich.
Heinrich?
Yeah. Heinrich, you want a beer?
Sure. Right before we teleport across the continent, sounds like a perfect idea. Why not?
It looks. He just became a Lorebinder guy.
Wait, if you're teleporting across, why don't you just give him the letter and have him bring it?
No, that's not where we're heading. I'm assuming she's giving
I'll
you the
take a
letter to
beer.
Thousand Gates.
Are
Yep.
you with us?
Yeah,
I think I probably would show up
that's
at
not
some
where we're
Alright.
heading.
Okay.
That was just a quick chain break behind Heinrich.
But that's good. That's good to know that
Oh,
Cold
God,
Heart's
breaker
holding
of
up well.
chains.
I mean to head back and see for myself, but you know how it is. Always from one thing to the next, traveling around, never ending.
I mean, I mostly just go to like 4 places over and over again, but
Well,
yeah.
you imagine that, but they're always different, not just the same. Form.
That sounds
A
way
beer-
better than my job.
I agree. You should join us.
I was
Make a
about to say
persuasion
more
check.
and don't.
No.
Let's get a meat shield. Meat shield for the meat grinder.
Persuasion, and he's already charmed by me a little, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Is that
dirty 20. I
advantage
can't
then?
roll.
Dirty
I
20.
can't
Isn't
roll
that
under.
advantage if he's charmed by you?
Takes
Or is
yeah, it is advantage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fucking get that number high.
It's the
No.
exact same.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw that from across
Yeah.
the table.
He takes a long drink from the beer and puts it down and he looks into it. Well, I am coming up on a pension, but it is kind of boring. What do you guys pay?
We don't.
One.
I laugh.
One.
Lauren,
This is the part where the door open and Akka walks in. One.
One gold piece
No, just one.
per day.
That's
One
No,
gold piece a
not
day. I
true
mean,
because you got paid at the end of it.
You got paid
I-
a shitload.
But that was because I did
Okay.
more stuff that wasn't
We pay in
related.
good times, in company, and stories. Don't you want an adventure?
You don't want to join this group. You're going to die.
make an intimidation check.
To save his life, literally. Oh, wow. Okay. That ain't bad.
That's a 15.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a possibility.
It's the possibility is significantly increased.
Wait, what's
I'm a
if
guard
you-
for the Red Shield Caravanserai, and
Have you fought dragons before?
no, we had to dodge a wyvern just on the way up here. Actually,
Oh, maybe it was the
How'd
one that
that
tried to
turn
date
out?
me.
I'm sorry.
See, those kind of things happen with us. It's crazy.
This is what I'm talking about.
It's
You're
good.
going
It's
to
good
die.
fun.
There was a wyvern rider that threw off the cliff. I had to save her.
But I'm still
You
here.
can see
know
he's
what?
looking
Where
at-
is this
He's
beer?
looking at his
Where's
empty.
this
He's
beer?
looking at
Let's
his empty beer,
How
and
about
he's like,
this? Let's tell you some of our stories over a beer, and then it's up to you, and I won't feel guilty if you join, because it'll be up to
Time
you.
you
make a
topple
persuasion
the
check.
regime.
Howard. You guys are just persuading him back and forth, all in the same
I'm
group.
just no. So it was a join us, then it was a don't, and then it was like a make your own decision
Yes,
right in the
yes.
middle. That's my true neutral Lawful neutral.
She is going outside.
You said
Okay.
persuasion?
Yeah.
He's drinking the
15.
beer.
15?
Yeah.
Well, if you buy me another beer, I would sit and listen, of course.
Sure, Morwen.
Yeah.
Rounds.
Okay.
And I'm
another
just
round
gonna
slides across
take
the
out my
table.
heavy sack
Another
of
round
money.
on this one.
And just like
Oh yeah. That's like
It's like a...
that's
It's a big
that's
sack.
called
I
passive
take my
persuasion.
entire sack, put
That's
it on my
passive
lap,
persuasion.
and I'm just
You see, as soon as this happened, the guy's attention is just right on there.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it goes away, he's like, "Wait, and so, just out of curiosity.
Found on the job, as it were.
Oh,
Killing dragons.
Interesting.
And also
Well,
regimes.
let's-
I'm not gonna
begin.
pay you,
Morwen's
but that
first.
doesn't mean payment
Undergone.
won't happen.
Morwen's
Cities.
first.
so I'm
Story.
sorry. This is... You can just kind of take what you want in this job.
No,
You
she
take what's
does.
owed to you.
Are you wearing your pirate garb right now? Because I feel like that would just be the deadest.
Aren't I
deal.
always?
I guess so.
I'm in my red coat. I don't
Yeah.
have my
There you
hat
go.
on.
There you go.
Okay.
Or your big
I'll hear you all out.
weather, your cold weather.
Over the
gear.
course
Alright,
of
I
this
put on the
meeting-
mask.
Yeah, there's like a wide shot of the table and gestures and faded muffled voices.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all then as the camera pulls away, suddenly there's a window in between, and it's just Shay looking so annoyed outside, watching all of this happen.
Yeah.
But
Does
sure,
Fane come through? I'm gonna have
sorry?
to sit down. Does Fane come through? I'm gonna order him a drink.
it depends on how late you stay, but he will at some
We
point.
won't, we
Yeah.
won't wait for him.
However, over the course of this time, as the day grows longer and then transitions into night, you get this guy pretty drunk, and if you wish, at the end of the night, you can convince him to travel with you.
I'm not taking on that
Well,
responsibility.
I'm gonna
That's all
assume that
on you,
I'm
Morwen.
drunk too.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna be like, no, Target, no, you can't come if you're drunk. You can't come if you're drunk. You gotta be sober. Gotta be sober. It's dangerous. I
You're
can't.
drunk.
It's hard.
No,
I'm
you're
not drunk. I'm fine.
Aka, are you drinking as well?
I had a couple, but I don't think I'd get as drunk
Aka,
as.
I've been
Sidebar,
drinking.
come
I've
here.
been drinking all day.
He leans over. Which is just more.
Just hair of the dog.
What do you got for me, Tarkin?
I can't. Isn't she drunk?
You're both drunk.
I think we're both. I don't think we can either both of us.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh no, you guys! I'm
you're
drunk
breaking-
too.
yeah,
I don't
you're
know if I
breaking
can
your
go.
rule. You can't.
Target. You got an extra
I'm going Port
spot.
Quinn.
All right, let's think about it. You know what?
Hey, do you guys
We'll
want to
pick
work
this up
for the
later.
Red Shields? We're
What do you
probably
what do you
hiring.
pay?
Listen, that was one of my first jobs. This is for working for Red Shields at Port Quinn.
Oh, that's right,
Come
Adam.
on,
You
man.
said
What
that
are you?
earlier.
What are you?
So over the course of the day, you eventually convince him not to come with you,
Thank you.
apparently,
Good.
and drop him off quite drunk in
Yeah.
his room.
Yeah. With a letter.
There's two other
the letter.
Red Shield guys who are like,
With the
one of
letter.
them, one of them takes the letter. He's like, oh yeah, no, we'll make sure this gets there. Puts it down. So you drop this guy off drunk.
Yeah.
The rest of you, if you wish, can find your way to rooms. No
Yeah.
problem.
See you
They're
around,
free.
Tarkin. Good night.
He's just passed out.
I tuck him in.
So you enter the room. These guys who are like kind of in various states of undress. One of them pulls the covers up over himself. You go in and you're just drunkenly loud, I'm just gonna tuck him in.
It's good guy. It's a good guy.
All right. They both kind of just watch this tabaxi, who neither of them have ever seen before, just come in and tuck their passed out drunk compatriot in, and then have a letter tucked in behind them. And then you walk out, and that's their
Perfect.
life now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Dungannon.
Tomorrow.
Oh, thank God. I hate the circles when I'm drunk.
The circles.
Or just kind of leans into the doorway and then backs up
I'll
and then
help
walks
Morwen
in.
to.
Sure. So, if you wish, is there anything that you guys are doing over the course of the night before going to sleep?
I am having the startling realization of how harrowing it is to drink and not be able to pass out.
Yeah.
I have
sucks.
to. I have to.
Oh,
I
that
have
was
to. I have to sober up while conscious every
Yeah.
time I
I'm
get
gonna
this
ask-
drunk, and I will. I think from here on out, be very, very selective of how much I drink.
I'm gonna be like.
It'll be like a
Henrik, come
traumatizing
here.
experience.
Come here.
Uh huh.
Will you go find a book on tabaxi? Will you go learn about me? I don't know about me. It makes me sad. I'm so alone, Heinrich.
Okay.
She starts laughing. There are actual tears coming down the black
I'm getting
throat.
the drunk sads.
So
I'm spiraling.
the circles.
I've been
One
drunk
part of
for
the circle
2
has
straight
like
days.
broken and it's become a spiral.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna tuck you and be like, I'll do that,
Okay.
and I'll like
Make sure-
half-heartedly throughout
make
the
sure-
night go look through.
Make
the...
sure Ro gets my letter. Good night.
Yep.
Make an investigation check.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
gonna keep reading that book.
Okay.
I'm snoring.
Got a 17.
Real loud. 17.
Yeah.
Half-heartedly, you wander. You feel like shit.
Oh yeah.
You're drunk,
It's
and all
not
you
by not
want to do.
wanting to do it. But,
You're tired.
yeah.
You want to go to sleep, but you can't. And every time you try to, all that happens is you just feel the spinning get worse and
Yeah.
worse. And so to distract yourself, you walk out into the night air. It's cold, and as the wind goes by, it does help a little.
Mm-hmm. Is there snow?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
yeah. Rub it all over.
Yeah.
It like melts across your skin. Feels a little bit better. You make it to the library. As soon as you walk in, you're already like, oh, it's too hot. Like, it doesn't feel great. But you just kind of glance across.
Oh
the
right,
shelf.
right, and take off the ring of warmth.
Yeah, you take off the ring. Oh, much better. You walk through the stacks. Very quiet at night.
Yeah.
You actually would see Tarkin still working away at his work.
I'll just be like,
You mean
irrigation, and then just
Sorry,
keep walking.
Fane, sorry.
Fane. Tarkin's asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tarkin's
I was
asleep.
about to be very
Sleepwalker, not
concerned.
drunk.
Just ran over. I want to learn. He, so you kind of nod to him. He just kind of gives you a wave. You just walk through. You look at different titles, and as you're walking, one of the things that you would see, since this would be from Gath, in Draconic, but rearranges to form for you, the cat folk of Gath and Gannon. And opening it up, it does talk a little bit about tabaxi, about how they are a people from across a fabric that connects this reality to another. It does mention various ways in which this can be accomplished, but these folk that come from faraway places are known as far travelers, and fairly uncommon in Dominion, much more common in Everest, as that does connect directly to the Feywild. But yeah, a little bit about tabaxi in there.
Okay. Hone in a little if I can, squinting, doing that kind of thing, on the connections or possible connections.
Morwen, did you ever mention to Heinrich the sort of vision that you had when you were petrified?
I think vaguely. In my Morwen way of not detailed, I'm like, there was these people, and I was swimming, and it was crazy. Yeah.
The fact that there was this swimming and this craziness.
Well, I said that there was an elf and someone who looked like
like
Tamara.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
Okay.
No.
Fair.
What else was there? I was really kind of.
Well, there were things that they were saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Visually, it was just two people talking.
Oh yes.
And you didn't get a good perception check off, or else you would have been able to see like little details behind them. But yeah, that's what you'd find. Over the course of the evening,
Okay.
you do sober up, and it's a painful process.
Yeah, I bet.
The headache comes in, and there is no sleeping it off.
Yep.
The nausea comes after.
Oof.
And the nausea sinks in right as you start to smell like the beginnings of food coming up from the kitchen below. It's unpleasant. But one by one, you can mark off a long rest if you would like, each of you.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I hate that. I don't know. I don't know if
Thank
I'm
you.
clever enough. I'll have to
Thank
think
you.
of something.
Jinga. Oh wow. The one and only. I was about to say Theon and
Jinga the one and only. Thank you. Allie will sign us off. So, you all come to, you can mark off long rest if you would like.
Yeah, I'll keep all my stats the same. I'll erase hungover though.
Okay. For those of you who are keeping track, it is now the 15th of the Claws of Sunsets, which is a Thursday.
What's it actually called?
Thursday. We
Okay.
we established early on canonically.
Not gonna cleverly call Turdos.
No, I did not want to. It's so hard already
I
for me
know.
to figure out all those
Stop.
things.
Well, that's just like putting a world in like a 24-hour day-night cycle.
It is
26, whatever, 30, whatever.
It's on a 24-hour day-night
yeah,
cycle.
I'm saying it's like hard as doing a non-normal because like
with like functional weather patterns.
You know,
it's
30
complex.
hours is the average day. Duh.
Well, it's a binary. It is actually, so there was mention of it. It is actually a binary star system, now that the second star ever is visible from Alberon, which does have something to do with the way that the weather patterns are sorted out. But a lot went into making this world. So, you guys all come to, you have breakfast. You can easily enough.
I make breakfast.
Ah, okay. So, within your room, this large platter of whatever goods you would like.
Sure, pastries today. Just all pastries.
Danishes. There's
Just
different kinds
just like
of
fried stuff because I'm hungover.
yeah, sure. All kinds of fried things. There's bacon. There are like some really greasy looking eggs. All kinds of things. And one by one, you smell this. You wake up, and for those of you who wish to eat, you can do so.
I don't know who would opt out.
As this day kind of comes to, Boron would make his way to all of you. If you do wish to leave,
Good morning.
Good morning. I assume that you guys already have these greetings.
Fast track, it's fine.
If you are wishing this morning, if you are leaving, this morning would be a good time. The only person here who is able to use this sigil, or any teleportation sigil at the moment, as Carranza is gone and our backup, you should do so this morning.
Perfect.
Otherwise, in 2 days, we should have somebody else who can do it.
Today seems just as well. We learned all that we needed to, I think, or at least all that we could, without spending too much time here. And if anyone else has any business, anyone want to check into the gift shop guy?
Dungannon.
Oh, I like the gift shop guy. It's
Quick
kind of fun.
run over to the
let's
curiosity shop.
Let's go check out the gift shop, the
We will
Lorebinder gift
be
shop.
right back. We just want to go visit the cryptid. Sort of becoming a fan favorite.
Yeah, no, you'll like this place.
I've met the guy, I think.
Yeah, it was when
have
we were
you?
coming back up.
Yep.
Ah.
Second here.
I think I'd already met the guy prior to meeting the
Oh, we
guy
gotta say goodbye to Pumpkin.
in the game, too.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
find Pumpkin, say goodbye to Pumpkin.
You don't have to become best friends with every single person that you meet.
I know.
I do.
I glare
I
at
do.
you.
I absolutely do.
Fantastic.
We don't.
What was I looking up again? Give me a...
Cryptid.
Oh, cryptid inventory. Right.
Yeah, the rotating inventory.
Well, he had an inventory refreshed relatively recently when you guys had gone last.
Oh, it doesn't happen just every time we leave the zone.
No.
So we just walk just far enough and keep like refreshing. If I step
Henrik
forward,
leave?
step back, step
Okay.
forward, step back.
So I don't know how much you've caught on to this, but this is all stuff that he makes.
No, I know. He just collects, finds, gets to trade with too.
This is 3 weeks ago.
He's only made one thing and showed us, and it was the weird rat mug.
Chi? No, he made most of that stuff. There's like 3 or 4 things that he hadn't made.
Oh.
Cryptid.
Like the cursed gambling gloves, I think.
Yeah, but you disenchanted them.
Yeah, immediately. You're like, oh, these are cool. Gloves.
Get rid of the curse. Get rid of everything.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now they're just gloves.
Okay.
I mean, there's a specific spell for removing curses.
Where's my cryptid? I just... okay. So you guys go over to this squat cobble box, or cobble building. It's almost like a
Cobble box.
like a pillbox
It's evocative.
almost. Okay, it's a cobble box. Why
Yeah.
not? Almost pillbox-like design, which is what I was trying to say. On the north face, you can see that long iron slot that you know knocking on will have the door slide to the side. So who's approaching?
I'll do it.
Yeah, me
I
too.
guess we all are.
All at the same time.
Yeah, let's go.
Ready,
Let's all
guys?
go see what he has to offer and buy none of it, and then we leave.
Correct.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2. No.
Okay,
Just do
so-
before anyone else can.
Okay, let's move.
Yeah.
So 3 of you knock very loudly.
I don't knock. I'm
No,
just
it was just me, and I was trying to beat them to it. It was
Okay.
like a,
you hear the kind of the grumbling voice kind of come up. You hear like something open and shut and kind of up and down. You just hear every single day. This little slot opens. You see this one huge eye just kind of dart around.
Good morning.
Oh yeah, you're back.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, you know, I can't complain. Welcome to the creepy cryptids coiniversary. God.
Good morning. You just woke up, huh?
You know, I don't really sleep.
Oh, me neither.
Oh, it's terrible.
I know. I was drunk last night. Don't do that.
You know, I ran into so much trouble not sleeping. I ran into a tremendous amount of debt, and it's actually why I'm still here. So, speaking of which, you guys need anything?
Curious of what you got this time.
I haven't really.
So fun.
I haven't actually come up with anything new, so I still have most of the same stuff I had last time. Yeah, you got the elf guy with you. Elfie, come here. Yeah.
I have a name.
You say that to him?
You don't
I'm
care.
just gonna.
You don't
I
care.
say it, but I'm just kind of like, fuck. This guy doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, you were looking for something last time. What was it?
What was it?
Weren't you looking for something last time?
I don't remember what I was looking for last time.
There was a
You
specific
didn't have it,
purpose
right?
of something.
Yeah, but he didn't have it, did he?
Not specifically what you were looking for. So you were looking for something. All I have is written as cloak. I don't really remember exactly what it was.
Is it for warmth?
Because you already have
Is
a
it for
cloak.
disguise?
I think it must have been for
Invisibility?
warmth. Yeah, because I have a cloak already. I don't know why.
So
Awkward.
if you're already wearing it, then never mind. He's just gonna shoot you.
It's like, hey, you.
I don't want to talk to you.
Okay.
So what was it again that you had? Because it's been how many weeks since we've been here? 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
This was session 69, so
Yeah. Nice.
3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Okay.
Oh, do you are you interested in buying anything?
I mean, if I could sell it again, or if I could modify it again, yeah,
Sure.
yeah, maybe.
Eyes.
I mean, that's a pretty, and these like long tentacles come out and wrap around it and pull it in. You see his one large eye pull to the side, and just kind of, and the eyes all just bobble around. It's a pretty nice collection. What do you want for it?
Oh shit. Oh, okay, wait. I've like worked in trading and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Like, what? Like I think I'd have a ballpark of like what
A
that
jar
would be
of
worth.
eyeballs?
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead and make a
I mean,
survival
oddities.
check.
I'm like, you know.
Six
Make an
gold.
intelligence check.
Depends. They aren't all collected
8.
gold.
You've never sold eyeballs before.
That's not true. I sold a dragon eyeball.
That's actually a fair point. You have sold a dragon eyeball.
Yeah.
But that being the
Shit.
only one that you've sold, hard to kind of gauge. I would say for Morwen, maybe, I don't know, 100 gold pieces.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking. 100 gold pieces.
For a jar of eyeballs, I mean, they're nice and they probably taste good, but that's like way too much.
I mean, it's hard to get this many eyeballs, man, you know?
You liked Chi, right? The rat thing?
Yeah.
I could maybe put something like that together for you if you want in exchange.
I don't want something that dies, though. That makes me sad.
What do you mean?
Like, she's like, it was a rat. Like, it could die. Like, I don't...
Yeah,
I
but
can't
he's
handle
not gonna
that.
die. He's not really a rat. He looks like a rat when you do the
Well,
thing.
I did not know that. You
Yeah.
did great work.
Thank you. Yeah, no, you know, I
Give
try.
me
and-
one of those.
it's a result of need. I really need to pay this guy back, and so I make all this stuff. But I've been doing it for like 400 years, so it's, you know, you get pretty
Okay.
good at it.
Yeah.
Anyways, you want something to turn into like a rat? Or I could probably do like a chinchilla. You know what those are?
Yeah, those are cute.
You want one of those?
Yeah, what is it going to do?
He's gonna look around. Roll a d100 for me.
Where's my... Okay. Wait, how do I read this?
No, you have to.
Oh.
give you
I'm
the-
sorry.
You make sense.
48.
48. He turns around. You see these tentacles just sprawl all over the place. He pulls out. Excuse me. Pulls out like a.
You're right there.
Yeah, right there.
Dusty, whatever it is.
Sorry, I've had this for a second. Pulls out a wooden spoon, just like a long, like a wooden spoon that you would cook with. You watch as the tentacles kind of slide across it, and there, for just a second, you see these jagged marks left across it. They kind of burn into the wood and then instantly are gone. Here you go. It'd be a spoon.
Cool. I have a chinchilla spoon?
Yeah, no, it'll turn into a chinchilla. What word do you want to say? I can just kind of establish it now.
It's the most important thing of the whole session.
Yeah, come on.
Little grabbies.
You see the tentacle goes out, and he's like, all right, you know what? It's yours. Why not? Little grabbies.
Well, because I can imagine this little chinchilla's little grabby.
And as he says, little grabbies and the spoon, and he's just a chinchilla.
Okay, so if I say little grabbies, it goes back into a spoon?
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not? And you can see it goes around. The tentacle wraps around the chinchilla, and it squeezes it, and you hear this.
I got me a
and then
chinchilla spoon.
it's just a spoon.
Okay.
So you can add chinchilla spoon to your inventory and subtract a jar full of eyeballs.
All right.
What a deal!
That's an
What a
upgrade.
deal!
Oh man, I can't
Really
wait.
trade
You
it
just,
up.
you just like takes the top off this. You see a tentacle into this goo and then pull out an eyeball, and it just disappears somewhere in the back. You hear this kind of, oh yeah. Oh, these are old. Oh, this is great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Any of the rest of you need anything?
What were the things that you had? Because it's been 3 weeks since we've been here.
You know, I have this shield that doesn't really work as a shield. Give me a second here. I can't pull it up on my phone because it does not scroll fast enough.
Little grabby.
So yeah,
In a
the
moment of
activating
panic.
words are going to be little grabbies
It's the most important thing.
and something else.
If Little Grabbies defeats Zystris.
Zystris,
Very
little grabbies. Yeah, your last damage should be dealt by the chinchilla.
You
I
chuck
think
the
that would
spoon and yell, Little Grabbies! And it's just on his face.
Okay. Lorebinder Boron. So, I mean, you've seen some of this stuff. I got another one of these potions from the Yank Egg, the acidic one that makes you, you know, it turns you look kind of like a bug, but you can spit poison. That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
I got. I already made you that thing. I still got the Ring of the Goat. But, you know,
That's
you all
good.
seem pretty well fed. You can eat anything when you wear it, you know?
Yeah. No, I got something that works a little better than that. So
Yeah,
what was that coin you had?
the coin?
Yeah, the gambler's hideout.
Oh, yeah. The thing about that, like I said, kind of like a hot commodity. That's not something I can really sell you anymore. It's promised. You know, if you were going to beat the original listing price, maybe I could work something out for you, but,
What is it?
well, give me a second. I have to find that. That's an
Remember it was
old
like
one.
1,000 gold or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous like that.
I believe it was 1,000 gold, but I'll have to find it. I can't remember what notebook it's in. But yeah, for the moment, 1,000 gold. Why not?
1,000 gold.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. Yeah, so you're talking about the Gambler's Retreat.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be 5,300.
That's a lot of gold.
So he put down 5,302 pieces of gold.
Holy, wow. He? Who? What?
I can't really go into who the clients are.
That's fine. You did. It's okay. Well, before we leave, one thing. You mentioned you painted.
Oh, I got the
someone
flock
back-
sock too.
Yeah, that one's cool, but
Yeah.
you're paying. Who are you trying to pay off anyways? Just out of curiosity.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Please. Ooh. 21.
He looks around. I mean, how much do you know about the Hells?
It's a little bit of first-hand experience, actually.
No, I mean not
from being a
ancestrally.
tiefling.
Oh, well, how much do you know about Disbater?
No. Does that?
Make a religion check.
Okay. Just need an extra 20. That's fine.
Did
Oh,
that,
okay.
frog almost get pulled
19.
to hell?
Huh?
The frog that
Yeah, Guntir.
yeah.
So-
your grung friend.
Yeah, what about?
19 was the.
The Spader, he's the Lord of Dis. It's a level of hell. He's an archdevil. Not somebody you want to run into trouble to. Very well known for being like, sort of like the guard dog of the hells. And I may have sort of maybe kind of managed to take something from him. And he doesn't really like that. It's not good for his reputation. It's a long story. The whole point is it's not something you want to get involved in. That being said, 6th level of hell of a casino down there, no pun intended.
I bet. Alright. Spader. Okay, noted. Well, best of luck on that. Next
Yeah.
time we're back here, hopefully some cooler stuff that isn't 5,000 gold. Holy crap. What's the total you owe this guy anyways?
What is the what?
What's the total that you owe this guy anyways?
Oh, yeah. Well, the gold is kind of just a down payment. There's a whole bunch of parts involved in it and infernal contracts. You don't want to get involved in that kind of business, let me tell you.
Yeah, you don't.
Alright. Well, have a good day. See you next time. We'll be back.
You see the little tentacle like,
Yeah.
and then withdraws back into the slot.
Cool.
Can we go now?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. You make your way over to this teleportation circle within the main structure. Waiting for you there, I believe you'd met him previously, is a like a kind of elderly, not elderly, not middle elderly. What is the? It's like in his 60s.
Okay. Late.
A little salt and peppery.
Yeah, salt and peppery.
Yeah. Late middle age.
So Boron said you guys were taking off.
Uh-huh.
Where are you headed?
late age.
Early late age. Golden
Crusty
age.
age.
Crusty age. Rusty age.
Anyways.
Yeah. Dungannon.
Dungannon?
Yeah.
All right. All you together?
Did we see Pumpkin? Should
Yeah.
I say bye?
Sure do.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Oh, good.
About
I guess
Chrysig's nowhere to be found.
Sorry, say again?
Well, Christ's already
Crisis.
fucked off.
He already left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, ready to go.
Everybody in the circle, hands and feet on the inside.
Of course.
Yep.
Follow.
Found this before.
Yep.
All right. You can see begins to kind of scrawl out this glyph. He has to take out a book and every now and then kind of reference it, but puts it together. You can see the elements beginning to glow. He's going to turn and say, you got a preference, upper or lower? So you would know, being from Dungannon, that Upper Dungannon, a little bit richer, the newer section of the city. Lower Dungannon, not quite as wealthy, but Dungannon is a city that is, overall, the quality of life is pretty high.
The collective's in the lower though, right?
Collectives is in the basement of the Touffet Museum, which is in Upper Sinoso, I think.
Oh, then I'd go upper.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all have a good time in Dungannon, and if you ever need to come back, best of luck. And he completes the sigil, and you guys feel this moment of just lurch and movement, and suddenly the air is different. It's warmer, significantly warmer, and the place that you are in looks much different. Except for you, Morwen. You've been here before.
I've been here too.
You've not been here.
Not
to-
Dungannon.
Not to this part of Dungannon.
Oh.
For at the moment, you are in the arrival chamber in the Dungannon Naval Base off the docks. But
Y'all in my town now.
because it is midnight, this is where we're going to end for the evening. So, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us and joining us for this session. Oh, right. Let me just say a couple things really quick, just as a
No.
reminder.
No, just kidding.
As a reminder, next week is not going to be session 87. We are instead going to be doing a one-shot called An Ale's Tale. Olive will be joining us. Matt will be gone next week. So this one-shot set in canon. It is set in Port Quinn, which is the other place I was prepared for you guys to go to tonight. So you will get to know. You'll get to know a little bit about what's going on in Port Quinn.
Yay, my bar.
Yeah. Level 5 characters, so that will be next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch. But until then, Allie.
Okay.
Bulletin.
That's the only thing I can think of doing. As tonight's adventure ends, we wonder, when will Heinrich check in on his bar? Will Akka return the book? Will Morwen ever seek help for her drinking? And are Shay and Pumpkin in love?
Oh,
Tune in in 2 weeks to find out.
we'll see you then. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.